two brothers and gamers that have been playing games since the early 1980s. Combined, they have over 65 years experience. Join them each week as they discuss and rant about gaming and entertainment news. This is Generation X Gaming.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another week, another episode of Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. This episode's a little different because we're not talking about news stories. We're talking about one specific thing for the entire show, and that is Starfield. Joining me each and every single week is Sgt McClusky. What's going on, bro?
I'll be honest with you. I don't want to even be here. I don't even want to be here. I don't even want to be here.
He just wants to be playing. He wants to just be playing. He wants to be playing Starfield. That's it.
I want you to know, every time I have to do something important, I set my character up exactly where I'm going to have to be next.
Yep.
And then I pause it.
Yep.
And I'm just waiting to go back.
I do the exact same thing.
I just wait to go back because otherwise I'll forget what I'm doing.
Yep. That's exactly what I do. So Generation X Gaming, a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week, and we rant along the way. We're live Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, episode 364. We're just this episode, and then next week, Sarge, we hit the 365 mark, meaning you could watch one episode a day or listen to one episode a day for the entire year. We've done it. And we've done it since 2015. This is our 9th season, and 364 episodes so far. You can also listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm. If you'd like to support us in any way, shape, or form, you can do it free by hitting that like button down below. You can go above and beyond that by hitting the subscribe button so you know when we go live. We do lots of different streams on this channel, or at least I do, Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We also do 8 p.m. to midnight, Monday through Wednesday, and then we do this podcast on Thursday, and then I'm off for the weekend. Sometimes I play games on the weekend as well for you guys. And if you'd like to go above and beyond that, you can become a member as little as $5, and we do appreciate you for being here and hanging out with us. So, Sarge, we are talking nothing but Starfield. We're going to get impressions. We're going to get people from chat to tell us their kind of stories, what they've done, tell us in chat.
Wait, don't you want to hear what I've been playing all week?
Yeah, we know what you've been playing. Here, wait. We actually have to do that. It's time for what we've been playing.
Wait, what are we playing?
All right, Sarge. What have you been playing?
Starfield.
All right,
been playing Starfield for a week straight.
That's since I got off last week, right after the podcast, I started playing Starfield, and I've lost sleep. I've lost brain cells because I've only been sleeping like 3 to 4 hours a night. Right. Yes. And then when I'm not playing Starfield, I'm thinking about playing Starfield.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't watched anything but the reviews that I watched. Okay.
Nothing.
I haven't seen any videos of what people are doing or help videos or anything like that.
Nope.
Me and Sarge were talking before the show, and he's like, have you done this? I went, I don't even know what that is. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, literally just blank face. I was just like, I don't know what that is. Right? Silent Warrior in Discord asked me about the flight simulator, and I was like, I don't know what that is. I haven't done that. Right? Apparently it's right in the main city. Never been there. Have you been to the museum, Sarge?
Which museum?
The museum in New Atlantis. Have you been to the museum?
There's multiple.
The history museum.
If you were at the right museum, okay. Let's start from the beginning. We're gonna give enough time for people to trickle into the room first. Okay, that's number one before we discuss anything. We are not discussing any spoilers.
Yeah, no main story. No main story.
No, we're not. We'll talk vaguely about certain things. We're talking about the game itself. There will be no spoilers.
Yeah.
Zero spoilers. Right? We might tell you a couple tips and tricks, like real basic stuff, like super basic stuff that you may not know. But other than that, we're not spoiling jack shit. That being said, what museum are you talking about? because
well,
if you have gone to the museum that you're talking about, you would know where the flight simulation is.
Well, that's just it. I walked to the front of the museum, but I never went into the museum. I was just asking if you went to the museum. I've never been to the museum. I only knew about the museum because I walked in front of it, but I never went into the actual museum.
Yeah, see, I think, and I think that's a testament to how people play a game like this. Like I have read some Reddits and how people are playing it, because I'm not looking at any videos of anything. Right?
Yeah, I haven't seen,
and
besides the reviews.
Certain people, like if let's say they started in New Atlantis, and they'll just go around everywhere until they've exhausted New Atlantis and then go on to the next location. I know people that do that. And so I don't do that. I kind of get like, I'll give you how I started. When she said, "Do you want to join Constellation?" and it says, "I need time to think about it." I said, "I need time to think about it."
Right, I need time to think about it. Right.
And then I went for a walk. I just wanted to see the city, because I know if I say yes to you, you're gonna like, "Get on the ship, we're going." Right? And I just got here, and you want me to already join Constellation? Like, give me a minute.
All right.
I want to walk around.
All right. Before we go deep into it, right? I want to start off.
Let's go deep.
Little structure here, right? So
Yeah,
what is your first impressions of Starfield?
Okay. I'm not giving any numbers.
Yeah, no numbers.
There's no scoring.
What's your
scoring.
impressions? What's your impression?
Okay. My impressions, and this is coming from somebody who has played all the Bethesda games except 76.
Except for 76, right?
Okay. I've played all the Bethesda games except 76. This is probably the best Bethesda game that they have made, polished wise, and just what it does, what the game actually accomplishes.
And you are like 58 to 60 hours in right now, because I'm 58 and a half, 59 hours, I think.
I mean, you can check on your computer faster than I can.
I can look. I'll look it up. All right. So what's your impressions overall, besides like it's the most polished that they've.
I want to discuss, not right this second, but I want to discuss like the amount of effort needed to do what this game is doing and trying to do. Like, there's a lot going on here. Like,
yeah,
a lot.
There's a lot going on.
A lot. The way I look at the game, there's actually 3 games in this game. Like, there's 3 types of games in this game.
I think there's almost 4, to be honest with you.
Maybe, but 3 for sure. Like 3 for sure. You have the action RPG, right? You have the fact that there's a space combat game in there. And then you have like this galactic economy sustainability game, like in the background, like that comes later as you play the game. Like, and for the fact that they all intertwine and they have to work together, and the game doesn't crap out more than I think it should crap out,
right,
is astonishing to me, and is a testament to the effort they put in to get this game to work in that engine.
Real quick, you have 3 days, 5 hours, and 3 minutes. 3 days. So you're at 70. You're at 72. 77 hours is what you're at right now. Go ahead. You can continue.
No, I mean that we're going by point basis. Otherwise, I'll start ranting. You need to keep the structure going. Otherwise, I'll go off the deep end.
My impressions of Starfield is that it's exactly what I thought it was going to be as far as the structure. When I first saw it, and then they told us that there was no from land to space, I went, okay, it's Skyrim in space, it's Fallout in space, and that's Bethesda. Bethesda is not trying to make a new recipe here. They're doing the exact same recipe, but now with a
better,
right? Everything they've learned from Oblivion and Morrowind and Skyrim and Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, and even with Fallout New Vegas, which is not them specifically, and also right, and also Fallout 76, they've taken everything they've done and they've put it into this game. Now, I agree with you saying that this is the most polished game. Now, is it perfect? No, it's not a perfect game.
No.
But I don't think a game has to be perfect in any way, shape, or form to like a game, right? There's people that like Diablo. There's people that like certain games, and they think those are the best games ever. This game, to me, is not a game. Like, when you say this is the best Bethesda game ever, no. To me, again, just me saying this is the best experience of this piece of entertainment that I've experienced, okay? Like, you experience Starfield. You don't play Starfield. Now, if you want to get this game and you paid $100, you paid $70, or you get it on Game Pass, and you want to play the main campaign and then be like, that's it, done, by all means, go ahead. But you're doing yourself an injustice, in my opinion, because this game is not just the main story, it's the experience. Like, there's games that come around, at least I'm 45 years old, okay? There's only certain games that hit for me that are just like this decade type of thing, right? Mass Effect 2 is one of those games that's in my top of all time, right? Red Dead 2, or Red Dead 1, and then Red Dead 2, okay? And now there's this. And this game, to me, is in that upper echelon of games. Again, not perfect, just the pure enjoyment. I absolutely love everything that this game is doing right now. And like you said, you said it's like 3 different games in one. You got the shipbuilding, you got the base building, you got the role playing of it, you got the adventure that you want to. There's so much to this. And I know someone's going to just take this and go, this is not better than Mass Effect. To me, it is. Mass Effect is the highest tier. I loved Mass Effect, but this takes what Mass Effect did and does more. The stuff that I was missing in Mass Effect, this can do. Yes.
Okay, so let me give you my background a little bit. I hold, and this not to shill a game, I hold a very special place in my heart for sci-fi movies.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of sci-fi movies growing up, right? I love fantasy too, but there's a thing about sci-fi movies, and every time a gaming company would come out with a sci-fi game,
right,
I was always eager to try it to see what they can do in that game to make me feel like what I seen in the movies, right? Like the Knights of the Old Republic, right, for back in the time, did a great job, right? When the Mass Effect series started, they did a fantastic job, right? For first-person shooters and whatnot, I like Titanfall, you know, like because of the mechs, because of the futureness of that. Like I didn't like the future of COD, but I like Titanfall. And so if you are at least of a decent age, like for me, playing this game for 3 days now, I have seen in the game, right, Easter eggs for almost every sci-fi game and movie I have ever seen.
Right.
Period. Like there's just little sprinkles.
Did you find the bounty hunter? Did you find the bounty hunter uniform?
Sprinkles.
There's a bounty hunter uniform. It looks like
I don't know.
It looks like Boba Fett.
Okay, well, I'll start at the top, right? When the ship takes off, right, and it does the cutscene of the ship shooting into the sky, if you listen closely, you can hear the Millennium Falcon noise just briefly as it launches into the sky.
Yeah, I love that. I love that gargle sound that is
right. The rocket noise. Yeah, the rocket noise there, but you can hear just for a moment the little whine of the Millennium Falcon is there, right? I can go back as far as some old movie from 1981 called Outland with Sean Connery, who's on a space station over, I think it's like Neptune or Uranus, and it's a mining colony, and there's only 2 cops on the station, right? And there's some kind of like evil syndicate going on, and they're trying to get rid of the 2 cops so they can just run the place themselves.
Right.
And Sean Connery has to outlive them all. It's not like an alien movie. It's him trying to survive from a gang of guys trying to kill him, right? And I watched that movie as a kid, and I watched it again as an adult, and lo and behold, when I went to a station in the game, the story plot almost like is the same. I'm the sheriff, and I have to get rid of the guys on the station. I'm like, this is nuts. All right, this is nuts. And that kind of hit goes on through the game as you experience it. Next point I'm going to make is the fact that it's very hard to create the situation where you are trying to get the general public to understand what it is to be in space since you've never been there. And they tried their best to take current physics, future ideas of what they could do with spaceships and rocket ships, and try to encapsulate what it would be like for you to be on a planet in a spacesuit. How difficult that must have been to try to put together in a storyboard. And the minute I was on, and I'll just say, I went to the moon, like our moon. I went to the moon.
Haven't been there yet.
And I just stepped out and I just walked around, and the silence of the moon.
Yeah.
And just existing there encapsulates and it puts you there. My imagination as an adult never died. I know some people grow up and they see too much of reality and their mind gets twisted and all they want is the facts, right? My imagination never died. I carried it with my entire life, right? This game attaches to my imagination and lets it run wild.
Yeah, it's tapping in
a sci-fi world where I get to be in this universe and experience what it's like to be a space captain, and they do a great job. Is there problems? Yes.
Sure.
Is it perfect? No. Did I have to buy it?
No.
So anything anybody bad has to say about this game,
but you did upgrade.
I don't care.
But you did upgrade. Yeah,
I upgraded because I felt like I'm stealing from them, and I'm gonna get the DLC anyway, and I wanted to play the game, right? I gave you $30 for a game that's probably $100 easy. This game's $100 easy with nothing. With no DLC, with no nothing, no skins, easy. It's $100.
Right.
I applaud them for the difficulty in trying to make a game in this genre. It is not like a normal video game. Here's how you know it's not like a normal video game. When all of us played Mass Effect, for those of us who've played Mass Effect, right? Mass Effect is kind of like, it's like a hallway, but it's got big rooms on both sides of the hallway.
Correct.
And you could pick the room on the right or you could pick the room on the left. But if you pick the room on the right, sometimes you don't go to the room on the left, but maybe you go later, right? But it's still a hallway. This game lets you go wherever you want in a giant forest of stuff. There's no rooms. It's just stuff, right? Is it boring and vast for some people? Yes. But newsflash, it's outer space.
Right.
Outer space is full of lots and lots of nothing. Did they do probably the best job they could to try to keep you entertained in the vastness of space instead of trying to be a walking simulator? Yes, they tried. It's probably the best that they've done in trying to keep you busy. How do you balance the emptiness of space and trying to keep you occupied every 30 seconds because your brain turns off and you get bored, right?
That's right.
There's a balancing act here that I don't think people actually give credit for, right? What they did for this game is probably the best work that team has ever done. The fact that they waited another year to do it and see what the year wait entitled, worth the year wait. Yeah. Probably because it wasn't ready. It wasn't ready.
Let me interject real fast. Quintar with the 10 gifted memberships and the re-up on his own membership. So 11 total. Thank you very much, Quintar, for the continued support for this channel. I appreciate it very much. Yeah. So Sarge, let's break it down a little bit. What are some of your, because the game is not perfect, right? So what are some of your cons about the game? What are your cons for Starfield? Oh, real quick, before you even answer that, look at the screen right now. This is the Boba Fett minus the helmet. look at the costume. Right, that is.
I haven't seen that yet.
That is Boba Fett. It's called the Bounty Hunter. It's called the Bounty Hunter spacesuit.
I haven't seen it yet.
And look at the color scheme. The color scheme is 100% Boba Fett. Right, so that is a nice little Easter egg type
homage.
of thing.
It's an homage. But this is what I'm telling you. I have found, and I'm not saying everyone's going to understand this because you're not as old as I am, and maybe you didn't like a sci-fi as much as I did. But the more I play this game, I see more and more of all the sci-fi movies I've ever seen, ever, right? Everything is inside this game. It makes my brain hurt and put a little water in my eye about 2 a.m. 2 nights ago.
That's because your eyes were bleeding because you were staring at the screen in pitch darkness.
No, it wasn't bleeding. It was actual joy. I was playing a game and I kind of hit a moment between the character was talking and the scene in the background and the movie I was thinking about, and I felt myself in that point in my life, like just for that moment, and it put water in my eye, right? That's an experience from a game. That's just not playing a game. And to go back to the point I was making with the room in the forest, we talk and people are saying stuff to you and you have no idea what they're talking about.
Right.
Because you didn't get to that point in the game. No, you didn't get to that point in the game because you didn't travel and pick the certain things that allowed you to go in that direction.
This is not a linear game.
It's not linear.
Yeah. You can literally go wherever you want and do whatever. All right. So what are some of your cons for this game? Name one and then I'll name one.
Okay, so it's a con, and at the same time, I applaud that they're trying, right? Sometimes the AI enemy guys, they twitch and they move so quick. Like, I like the fact that they move quick, and they move a lot smoother than they did back in, like, Fallout 4 days and 76. Like, they go from cover to cover, and they don't do that stupid game where if you're looking through the scope, they never move because you're looking at them. And then
and then when you turn around, they pop up. Yeah.
They move. Yeah. They actually move.
Yeah,
like, they move around, but they twitch a little bit, right? It's a little unnerving, and I think the AI can be improved on a little bit. But I think it has to do with, and this is speaking from Bethesda experience, the range at which you are dealing with the AI and the amount of coding it needs to decide where it's going to go from that distance.
Right.
Like, we're talking like 50 yards. You're like in an open spot with buildings and boxes and things. And sometimes they twitch out because I don't think they don't know where to go.
Right.
Like, there's too many options. Like, they don't have 4 boxes to go behind. There's 50 things they can do, and I think the AI doesn't know.
It looks confused. Yeah, it's like
it looks like it's confused. However, other times you'll see it where, like, they use their jetpack and they jump up to a higher spot, then throw a grenade down on top of you, and I'm like, what's going on? Did he just jump on top of the building and throw a grenade at me? Like, that's kind of cool, right? Same thing though for your companion. Same rationale. For some reasons, he doesn't attack the guy unless I'm close enough to him. Like, if I'm at range using a rifle trying to find them, my guy doesn't seem to, like, go for shots. He just kind of hangs out. You have to be within a certain range of an AI enemy for my guy to actually start doing whatever he's coded to do.
Right.
That kind of is a con. I think there's some things that need to be adjusted.
One of my cons is that, and I don't know if it's because of third person, first person, because it happens in first person, and I don't know if, obviously I'm 58 hours into the game, just about to break over 60, I think, or whatever it is. I think I'm more than that, obviously, but when I look down my sights, I'm doing pistol, right? And I know pistol, maybe it's a range thing. Maybe my range is only like 30 meters, and then it's actually
40.
past, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So when I aim down the sights, I'm on the guy's head and it misses, right? And I look at that and go, well, maybe it's because of the range. But then sometimes I'm in range. I know I'm in range.
There's a sway. There's a sway when you go ADS.
I understand that, but even when you hold the left, you can hold the left analog stick in to, like, hold your breath type of thing.
Does that work?
It does, right?
But there's no peak.
Yeah,
there's hold your breath, but there's no peak.
No, it runs out real fast. But my point is that it doesn't hit. I feel like the detection is off, sort of like what happened in Battlefield 2042. Like you would shoot people and it was hitting them. It was hitting them, but it doesn't detect them, right? And then when you go into third person mode, right? It doesn't matter if you're going to the closer one or the wider one. So because of the angle, you're on the left side of the screen. And it looks like, so you're behind a box or something. You have your gun up and out, right? You'll see it maybe when I'm playing on screen. And when I look like I have a clear shot and I shoot and it hits the box or it hits something there, and I'm like, I was like, okay, so you got to move out a little bit, or I go back into first person. It's a little con.
It's a little wonky.
Yeah, it's just a little wonky. Yeah, Water. It's just a little off. Right, I don't want to talk about pros yet, but so it's a little bit of the hit detection is a little off.
Hit detection, yes. Also, I found out this thing when I squat, right? I go into like this invisibility mode. It's supposed to be like stealth.
Yeah.
But when you
stop
go into
moving.
but when I go into squat mode, I'm trying to get like a better stable platform for rifling.
Yeah.
And then my thing goes stealth like Predator, and then I don't have a reticule. I can't aim anymore, and I have to guess where the guy is. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
I understand they're trying to represent stealthy. Like, I don't have an invisibility shield or anything. Like, they're just trying to represent stealth. But because of that graphic happening, I can't aim properly.
Yeah, there's the invisible. You get the invisible.
But gun's
reticle.
invisible.
Yeah,
the
reticle's
my gun's invisible.
Yeah, the reticle's invisible. Yeah. Do you want to tell Quintar, Sarge? Or do you want me to tell Quintar?
Well, it's not like an okay. It's not super official yet. I've only tested it out a couple times, right? But like low budget dollar store VATS is in the game, Quintar.
Yeah.
Right? You just have to go somewhere to buy something that you consume.
Yeah, it's something
and then it causes everything to slow down and almost like bullet time.
Yeah.
So yes, low budget dollar store VATS is in the game.
It's in the game.
It's in the game.
Right. And I'll do one more to just
they don't give you the percentage. There's no percentages.
Yeah. So it is in the game, right? And
I won't spoil it.
And that right there, what Quintar just did, a perfect example. People say certain things, not picking on Quintar.
No.
And you truly just don't know that it is in the game or not in the game, right? So someone will be like, "Oh, I wish this was there," and you're like, "It's there," and you're like, "Oh, I haven't come across it." Like it happens.
Right.
So me and Sarge talk all the time about this game. He's like, and we try to be cryptic, right? He's like, "Did you go do this thing?" And I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about." He's like, "Okay, let me know when maybe you get there," right? It's like we don't want to spoil it for each other. And I absolutely love the fact here's another con, right? Here's another con. I don't know, well, it's almost the AI. It's continued with the AI. The animal AI, okay, is sporadic.
Vicious.
Sometimes they're vicious, and other times they're just idiotic. Okay, so I guess it's still along the AI. So I'll take another con. One of the other cons is that early on in the game, the amount of storage that you have and you become overweight is a massive problem early on. Okay. I want to say it's over pretty quick, but you're like 7-8 hours in before you can really change that aspect. If you raise your ship storage or if you do the weightlifting perk.
Yes, I get it. But add the equation before you say the sentence. Most people who play Bethesda games are hoarders.
Or all hoarders. Yeah, because they make it where you can pick up everything.
Right.
You should.
Bethesda has this thing where they tell you not to pick stuff up, but then give you a scanner. And then when you look at stuff through the scanner, all this other stuff lights up and the other stuff doesn't light up. So you think the stuff that lights up is somehow pertinent to something. So you pick it all up, right? Because you think you might need it, right? Understandable. But we're teaching a generation of hoarders that says that it's not your fault that you want to collect shit. It's the fact that you don't give me enough containers to put the shit in. Like,
right.
Just give yourself a minute and just play the game, right? As the longer you play, you start to figure out what things are important and what things are not, and it slowly starts. And I think it's done very well on their part, that it explains it a little as you go.
Well,
like you start to realize stuff does mean something. For instance, I found a location where that person was looking for an item, and those items,
I love it, so cryptic.
Those items are just wherever in the game, and I happened to be picking them up because to me they looked weird. Like, why would this be here? That name looks familiar. Why would that be named that? And so I collected them, right? And I found out that if you have special ones of this object and you return it to this person, they pay you a lot of money for these items. Just once, though. You can't keep bringing her the same item over and over again. But apparently, there's a collection of items that she's looking for, and she pays. So now, every time I'm walking around, I'm looking for this item.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never experienced this.
I know you're not.
Here's another con, but it's justified, but I still don't like it. Okay, you go to a vendor, okay, and the vendor doesn't have enough money on them, so you sell a bunch of stuff.
Oh, that stupid trick with the 24-hour thing,
right? And some vendors are 24 hours, and some vendors are 48 hours. Okay, so it's a con because I don't personally like it, but it's not really a con. I understand why they do it, because they want the immersion of,
yes,
you sold all the stuff, you knocked them out, you got to come back tomorrow when they have a new cash drawer, basically. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah. So
sure. Something to slow you down a little bit. Listen, you're not supposed to break 100% immersion right away. Yes, the people, I already see the videos. Be a millionaire in 20 hours. Be a millionaire in 8 hours. Like, I don't want to play that way. I don't care.
It ruins the game.
I don't care.
I think it would ruin your game.
Bro, if you were a millionaire in the first day of this game, you ruin the entire game.
Yeah, it's like putting a cheat code in SimCity back in the day.
You could buy anything you want. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Is there another con? Sarge, you have another con?
There's a lot of little cons. A lot of little cons. I don't like the fact that this is a Bethesda thing, though, and I laughed, right? And I wouldn't say it's immersion breaking, but it takes me out of the moment just briefly, and I laugh. Like when I'm talking to somebody, and then another character just kind of walks in front and stands there, like they're blocking the viewpoint.
Yeah.
Right. So they're talking very sincere. We're trying to have a heart to heart, right? And there's just somebody just staring at me. His face is in the way, and like you can't move it. And I'm like, really, right? The other thing that's kind of broken, just a little bit, I'm not mad, it could be fixed, I'm sure the modders will get right on it, is the fact that sometimes when you're doing the cutscenes of the ship, I think there's a program with certain companions that they talk during that cutscene, right? And what ends up happening is they don't finish the thought, or they don't finish what they're saying before the cutscene cuts away, so you never get to hear the rest of it, right? This happens, and I'll tell you my examples. This happens a lot with Sam and Chloe, or right? Because Cora, Sam and
daughter,
Cora, right? When they do the banter back and forth, she does this when the ship takes off, and then it gets cuts off, and I never get to hear the rest of what she's trying to say. Like it breaks like the little joke they're having, or whatever's happening. And the other time it happens is because I picked Superfan, right? Because I knew that everybody on my ship was going to be very serious about everything, right? That's how the game is, right? All your companions are very serious. I'm very serious about what's happened to me in my life. Like everybody's like that, right? So I put Superfan on my ship because he says crazy shit and he's just fun, right? Right? And then like when you go to take off, he screams out, "Wee!" Like he just does funny stuff. It just makes it a little less serious about the whole thing. But that's a little bit of a con. But once again, I have seen the game-breaking moments of Bethesda games, and that could have been one. But it's more like a playful little oops that they can fix.
Can you give?
They can fix it.
Can you give Superfan a gun? And he can fight with you. So while you're on missions, he's just chatting away with you.
It gets a little crazy if you all right. And there's somebody in chat. I'm not sure if you know who he is. I think you know him. I don't know if chat knows him. His name is Slow. blow something in right?
Yeah.
He says he had a conversation with him,
Okay.
right? And I'm not sure if this is a spoiler or not a spoiler, but you have to pick the actual thing to get this guy. So fuck it, right? He says he talked to him, and there was options when he talked to him to like, you need to calm down, right? Because you're making everyone crazy,
right?
Or you need to turn that shit up, like be like a super fan. And he picked turn that shit up, and so now he just goes completely nut job. Like everybody, he like, yeah, Captain, woo! Like he just, he's crazy, right? He's a lunatic. Yeah.
All right. Give us a little bit more cons because you have a little list. What's the little cons that they have?
I mean, some of the combats, most of it. There's not a lot of cons. There's not a lot.
The UI to me is a con.
Okay. The amount of here's how I'm looking at it. The amount of ways, and I know they were trying to do.
There's
options.
5 ways to do everything.
You can tell that they wanted to give people options. But there's like 5 or 6 different ways to like fast travel, and it's so cumbersome when you're like, I'm in the thought process of I know I want to do this, and this to fast travel, but then I do this and this instead, and so now it's like 3 more steps to do the fast travel instead of just 3. It becomes 5. I'm like, why?
Right, you could tap start, then go to the map, but left up on the D-pad, or you could just hold start, and then you could go in the thing, or you could just go to your table inside the thing. Yeah, there's like 5 different ways.
I know they wanted to give options. I applaud them. They probably were. Listen, I bet the developers were in a room and they said, my way is better. No, mine way is. And they said, well, let's just see how it works out.
In there,
and they forgot to take some out. Like there's shortcuts in there, but there's too many. There's like too many shortcuts. Personally, for me, I like to be in the game. I don't like to fast travel a lot. I don't like to go from a room, fast travel, and I'm in another room. Like
I don't like that.
I want to travel.
I want to get in the ship. I want to go in the thing.
Talk to my guys. Put some stuff in the cargo thing. Maybe I've got some problem with me. I got to give myself some medicine.
Yeah, I'm living in the game.
Right, exactly. But they gave people options. If you have a short attention span and you want to get to the end of the game, you just want to click and and get there. You click, and you're there. You can do it. You can do it.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room then. The load screen, Sarge. The load screen.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about load screens. All right, so Here's my first take on the whole load screen thing, and I'm being very serious about this. What I find amusing is we've removed Sony ponies from the equation unless they have a PC, so we're left with Xbox people and PC.
Well, they wouldn't be Sony ponies then.
Hang on, the Sony people, the ones
who
I
understand, but if they have a PC, then they're not.
About the game.
I got you.
The ones who are mad, period. Right. So we got rid of them. Now we're only on PC and Xbox people. Right. The game's been out. Now, I'm not saying enough time yet.
24 hours.
The game just came out for normal people. It's only been out for 2 days.
24 hours.
Right?
That's it.
Right. It's only been out for the normal people. The rest of us been playing for 5 extra days. Right? What I find amusing is you want there to be something so bad that you went down your list and you decided the thing we're going to talk about that bothers you
is load screens.
Now, I know about the rest of the games that have been released since the beginning of the year, and they all have load screens.
They had load screens, yeah.
Right? Every single one of them's got load screens in one way, shape, or another. But the fact that you're putting the flag in the ground and you're gonna this is my point I'm gonna argue.
Yeah.
It's the load screens. Let's back up. Let's look at what Bethesda's engine can do. And I'm gonna go on both sides of this, and I find it confusing, right? And I'll give like the starter city as the example. I noticed that in the starter city that all the stores are there and you can just like walk in and talk to the guy.
Because there's no doors.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? But some of them, there's a door. Then I go in and there's a load screen.
Yeah.
And when I load in, the store is so small. Like, couldn't that just be a cutout in the wall and just storage should just be here?
I think it's because
why did you guys decide that this store needed a door?
I think it's the way they designed, like, the items are actually there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a picture of the item; it's the actual.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
though,
I know
right?
exactly. I know exactly what you're saying. There's certain stores you go in, it's like 10 by 10. And you're like, why? Like there's a gun store inside of Alkine, Akira, whatever. Is that what it is? No, Aklok.
Aquila is
that
the
what
name
it
of the
is?
town.
Yeah,
Akira.
the
Akira's
little-
an anime.
Yeah.
Akira's the anime.
The town, when you go in there's a gun store and there's a load screen, but the store's not that big. But all the guns are there. You see what I'm saying? Like all the guns, and when you go in the inventory, they're actually there. So I don't know, maybe that's why.
Well, I'm gonna chalk it up to the engine that they use. And by the way,
I mean, Diablo loads everyone's inventory in.
Whatever modification that they did to advance the Gamebryo engine, it's truly amazing what they got this engine to do. Right? I'm thankful for some load screens because
you can take a sip of water.
I gotta get a drink,
yeah.
Or maybe remember to breathe, or maybe have a snack, or go to the bathroom. A load screen tells your brain this segment of the entertainment is over. Maybe you should do something else and then come back. Right? It's just a little break. I don't think 11 seconds at most is a lot of time.
Well, that's just it though. Like they've made the load screens better over the time. It's not like they've gotten rid of them.
That's not a
They've gone from like 45 seconds to like 11 seconds, right?
Yes, it's 11 seconds. I don't think 11 seconds. If 11 seconds really bothers you, I'm out of the game for 11 seconds, right? It's because of two things. One, your attention span is destroyed because of current day phone use.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two is you want instant gratification. I want to get to where I'm going. I want to get the item. I want to get the XP. I want to get the money. And everything standing between you and me is just an annoyance.
Is 11 seconds.
And so if I have to look at something or nothing for that matter, it bothers me. Okay. But if you're really screaming about 11 seconds, then I don't know, man.
Here you go. I
don't know.
I just went to the store I was talking about inside this video.
The engine, listen, the engine that Bethesda is using, can you even comprehend that the game bounces between the three types of things inside this engine and the game doesn't completely crash like 50 times a day? Like,
right.
You understand what it's doing, right? Like you understand that it's going from drawing an entire world, right, to putting you in outer space with a flight sim, right? Like, you know what I mean? And then it's zooming in and zooming out and trying to figure out, like, so like every once in a while, like 11 seconds, like if you just exist in the space for a minute or two, like you don't notice the transitions that happen. But I know it bothers people. I know it does, right? Everybody wants everything to be completely fluid the whole time, but it doesn't work that way, right? We're down to 11 seconds, guys.
7.
I'm pretty sure
7 seconds.
I'm pretty sure that eventually it'll be seamless. Maybe by the time you guys get ready to retire.
Maybe Starfield 2.
But at least there's progression.
Right.
But at least there's progression. I think 11 seconds is pretty damn good. It's drawing Skyrim every time you go down to the planet.
Yeah. All right.
I think it's pretty good.
What's some pros inside the game?
Oh,
D-Money says Cyberpunk's pretty smooth. Yeah, but Cyberpunk's not using the same engine, right? You can't take a game that's not using the same engine and say, well, that one's running pretty smooth, because they're not using that engine. It's a completely different engine.
Okay, so
what's some pros?
There's a lot of pros, right? The ability for them to update their engine to handle this, I think, is definitely a pro. I can't believe it works. I'll be honest with you, because I know the engine, right? I can't believe it's actually working the way it works.
Well, they upped the whole engine. It's not the same engine. It's the engine built on.
I believe that Bethesda encapsulated the loneliness and the vastness of space and still made it tolerable to where you might want to look around. There's something in the distance. Let's go check it out. It gives you that little exploration bug, right? Because inherently humans are we are scientists, we are explorers. Like if there's something in the distance, we want to go see what's there. Like it's just like a thing in us.
Hereditary.
And
right,
so
yeah.
and so they encapsulate that for space. I think they did a brilliant job in that. I like the gun models. I like the way some of the gun models
Those
move
are my favorite ones on the screen right now.
when they breathe or they do like the little thing that they do. Like I have this revolver that once it loads, it kind of does this little flare thing, like it's getting ready, almost similar to like the Halo gun. Remember with the Halo guns?
Yeah.
Some of the Needler and the other gun where you fire, or the proton, the plasma gun where you fire it too much and it vents.
Yeah,
right. Like the guns, like the guns do like these little things in your hand after you fire them for too long. I did notice, and I think it's a con, but at the same time, I think it's a pro because it stops you from being too gun happy in close combat. I noticed that if I'm hit by a creature in the middle of the reload, it stops it completely and it has to redo it. And so it stops you from like doing that little backwards move where you just run backwards and just keep reloading and shoot the guy until he's dead, right? It's a little cheese move that we've all done in the past. But because if a creature comes at you and he lunges, if he hits you in the middle of the reload, you stop. You have to reload again.
Right.
And so I started thinking that reload perk maybe actually is pretty is actually a good one to pick later on down the road, because every time I'm reloading like these rifles, that it takes time, and every time I'm getting hit, I got to redo this. So I got to jump on a rock, or I got to use my jetpack and get away because you have to reload. Yes, it's annoying, but it's a little bit more realistic than me just running backwards and just throwing another clip into the machine gun and blowing the guy away, right? I think it's interesting. I think that's a pro. I looked at it as a pro. I enjoy the fact that the things that you don't think that you can interact with, you can.
Yeah.
Right? That's also a
chat.
pro.
If you haven't noticed, Sarge, when we talk about games for 363 episodes, he's always just like, I don't want to fucking play it. I don't want to do anything. Right? The game sucks. This game is look at Sarge. He can't shut up. He loves the game so much. A pro for me, Sarge, is the music. I love
music's very good.
The music, man. There's these little like undertones, and it almost sounds like Star Wars. It's
That's
like
what I'm saying.
Just a little tone, and then it goes into its original score or whatever. And then the crescendos of when combat's happening and something's happening. It's so good.
They don't ruin it when you're on a big empty planet and it's completely empty. You're looking at the moon, right? There's only a certain kind of music that's very soft.
Yes.
But like when you're in a forested area, the music's different.
And then when you're on a moon and there's no like there's no sound effects, there's no trees, there's no animals, there's no nothing.
There's no nothing.
It's just quiet. And
yes.
There's not even music playing. It's just you and your thoughts.
Like a little twinkle noise. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Another pro for me is that the attention to detail of the lore building, and when I'm not lore building, world building. Okay. For instance, like little things that it just feels lived in. Like this is not Mass Effect where there's aliens and stuff, right? This is humans that left Earth for whatever reason. Okay, that I don't know yet. Okay, and they moved out into the new systems, and they started spreading around. And it's not like they have ships that are like these UFO type of stuff. It's like they're cars, right? They're like
like they're flying around with high tech, but it's a U-Haul truck.
Yeah, it's like grunge type of, like, you know what I mean? Type of, it's not next level like futuristic stuff. Like we have spaceships, but we're still humans with a little bit of technology, but they still look like normal, like everyday thing. I like the feel that it has. It almost feels like Fallout in space, right? It feels like you move just
Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff is in there.
I love
Recall.
Yeah, I love the different cities, man. The from New Atlantis being the basically, the pristine city. Then you go to Neon, or you go to you go to the Western town, or like they're just so good, man. I haven't even been to. I've only been to 3-4 towns, right? I think there's obviously a crap ton more, right? But it's amazing to me just the way it feels lived in.
Well, here's I guess this would be a little bit of a con, but I know it's truly not. I think that the super cleanness of New Atlantis throws me off a little bit, that it's that pristine, right? Like the whole city, like it's almost fictitious. Like it's so clean. Meanwhile, Aquila, like the amount of detail in Aquila with the brick and the dirt roads
the way it's
and all
built
the
up.
trash on the outside of the buildings, and I'm like walking around and I'm like, my God. Like this is the thought I go back to. When I walk into that town, I pass that market up front and I look at the town with the tower in the middle. I have the same vision of when I first saw the town inside the stadium for Fallout 4. Right?
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah.
Right? Now, I look at the detail of the Fallout 4 town, and I realize how detailed that looked back then. And now I look at Aquila now, and I look at that, and I'm like, that's fucking madness, right? How is your engine not exploding, right? The amount of stuff that's going on, the amount of people walking around, interacting with each other, it blows my mind that the game is not melting every time stuff is happening. Honest to God.
Real quick, D-Money says they need vehicles on planets, period. I'm going to push back on that a little bit, right? And I feel like if you put a vehicle in this game, one, it takes away from what they're building of what it is. Again, it's in the future, but it's not futuristic, right? They don't have like companions of like little robots that you're riding on or hoverboards or anything like that. And I think because they want you to go explore and there's points of interest in between, and yeah, it takes a long time, but that's why you have a jetpack. Your jetpack actually makes you move a little bit faster, and you could take your abilities to put towards the skill points of that. If you put a vehicle in there, and this is again just my opinion, if you put a vehicle in there, then it's almost the same type of thing where people don't even use the ships, right? They just fast travel everywhere, they do everything, and they're kind of missing the point of why they built the worlds the way they did, right? Like going exploring and finding a cave or going to find an abandoned building, because if you got to build, let's say you get a truck, a little rover. Well, now you're in the rover and you're like, oh God, the rover's not moving fast enough. Right, I wish it could go faster. And then when they start making it faster, and you're like, oh, I wish I don't even have to get out. I could just shoot the resources to get the resources.
Then it would be Mass Effect.
Right. Well, Mass Effect and also No Man's Sky type of stuff, right? Then you start doing that type of stuff, and then it's like you give an inch, you take a mile, because they're like, all right, we'll give you a vehicle, and then you're like, oh, well, now I got to add a laser, now we got to add this, and it's like, I don't know. I think what they do, if they do add a vehicle down the road, I think it's way down the line. I think it's like a year out the game comes out, maybe some DLC, third DLC, whatever that comes out. I think they take the same route they did with Fallout 76 before they added the humans to come out of the vaults, right? You're all speaking of ghouls and mutants and whatnot. I think that's what they do. I think they don't put it in. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they want you to struggle. They want you to experience the worlds they procedurally generated that they made for each of the planets and make you like it that way. If a rover goes in there, I think you just kind of miss all of it.
I get. Look,
NASA has rovers, sure, but NASA's also not living on Mars and everything else, right? It's a different world.
The way I look at it is you already are so comfortable with everything around you that you need to complain about something. So now I need the car. So you're not complaining about you have to walk or what you do when you're walking or the fact that you have a jetpack. Like, oh, that's good. It's all good. Now I just need a car. So you're not even worried about the stuff that you have. It's immediately about the stuff I don't have. So everything you have is great then, right? So that says to me that they did a great job, that everything that they gave you up to this point is completely fine. There's no complaints. Now you need a car. So now you're on the thing that you don't have. Like that's the thought process. If there was an actual big deal about how I moved or the jetpack, or whatever, we'd be talking about that. We wouldn't be talking about the car. But since everything is gravy and we're good, it's about the car now. Like,
yeah, but you can fast travel once you reach the spot. Like if you're out in the middle of the moon, you go to the first spot and you're overloaded. As long as you drop something and get below level, you could just fast travel back to your ship.
They give you all the options that you need. I put myself in a position where I overloaded myself on purpose, so I can't fast travel to my ship, and now I have to walk back my ship through the wilderness, right? On purpose. Then stuff starts attacking me. My oxygen goes down quicker. I have to make better choices. I got to make sure I can't run too much, otherwise I'm out of breath, right? Did you know that when there's storms on planets, if it's a weird kind of storm, that it degrades your filters on your
yeah, you have to change
your spacesuit.
Yeah, you either have to have a different suit for that situation.
So you don't get the automatic, like it turns green. It says protection regen is what it says. But if there's a storm going on and you're fighting and doing a bunch of stuff, you don't get that projection regen. It doesn't activate because your suit's too worn out. You have to go someplace and let the suit rest. Or there's some other mechanic there that I don't know exactly how it works, but it's very interesting.
What do you think of, I don't really want to say, when I say story, I'm not talking about main story. I'm just talking about in general. What do you think of like the story or the dialogue that's happening in the game?
I noticed in the dialogue on a lot of the people that instead of it just being cut and dry, like give me this answer, give me that answer, and something else, there seems to be a lot more options about asking for further information, and what that leads to is other options down the road. Like instead of saying I want to do A or B, there's a C. And then when I pick C, when I go to the other part of the quest, instead of only being two options, now there's a third option because I picked C in the beginning.
Right.
Like it's like you're getting other information for the plot point of the mission, and because of that, it gives you a different option later. Like I noticed that that's done quite a bit in the game, which I think is interesting. I also like the fact that I don't reload for bad choices. So if I make a choice and it's bad, I just let it ride.
Right.
I like I picked industrialist and extrovert, so I can persuade a little bit better. And so I noticed that the persuade mechanic is a little bit different than in the past. It's not just a number.
Yeah, it's a roll.
It's not just a number base. It's based on the character type you're talking to and what they would respond to. That gives you that number. Like sometimes if it's somebody that you need to bully, if you don't pick the bully one and you're trying to pick like the lower one that's green because you think that's going to work,
right?
It doesn't always work. You have to try to understand the character you're talking to pick either the yellow or the red sometimes, and that actually works. And I did notice that if you persuade well over time, there's a little meter in the bottom that fills up, and so it gives you an automatic pass for a persuasion test.
It picks one for you.
So if you happen to think it's a critical, like you do a bunch of them because every time they give me an option to persuade, I do, right? Because I'm practicing. But if you're in a critical situation and you know there's a critical situation and you've been saving up that little meter, it says automatic pass. So like you can fuck around with it and say what you want to say, and before it all goes to hell, you could press the automatic persuasion and you'll say whatever needs to be said and you'll get it.
Right.
I think that's a cool kind of mechanic that they put in there.
Yeah, I think I love the way the story and dialogue happen. I'm role playing, like literally live on stream. I'm role playing, and I absolutely love the banter that characters choose to say to you in certain situations, and the way they act. I think the voice acting is very good. Obviously, not all voice acting is fantastic, but I think obviously the main characters or the people that you have to talk to, they're good. Like I had a conversation with the guy who was a store clerk yesterday, and then I had another conversation with a character that was random inside a cave, that I happened to find. So there's like these little moments that come out in the dialogue. You're like, wow, this is actually really, really good dialogue, and the voice acting is really good. What do you think of? Let's talk ship designs, right? Ship designs, okay? Just ships in general. What do you think of the ships in this game?
Well, this is one of the points I'm going to go back to where the people say that the ship shouldn't even be in the game, and I think that you are mentally incapacitated.
I've never gone from one place to the next. Yeah. I always get back in my ship.
The entire point of the ship and the reason why there's a cutscene, and I'm not sure if you understand development, but the whole reason why there's a cutscene of your ship taking off is because you get to design your own ship, and then you get to see your ship take off and land and move around and fly through space. Like, that's the point of the ship. And the fact that it's such a detailed shipbuilding game, I guess you want to call it, or structure, that what you could do for the ship. And already we're seeing what people can do with the builds in the game.
Let me bring up
it's incredible.
Let me bring up some of these.
It's incredible.
Okay, this person has struck me as like they have so many. Okay, look at this one. All right, this is the Magic School Bus. All right, this is the Magic School Bus here. This is inside. Look how much stuff is. Hey, that's what you drive. You drive up here, right? So someone created the Magic School Bus. Okay. You got different. There it is, flying in space. Okay, then you got the
hilarious, Reese. Hilarious.
Okay, so you got the Magic School Bus. We got. Let me show you another one. This is a pirate ship.
So, right? I can't believe they actually made it. This is the
Black Pearl
part of the game.
Right, this is the Black Pearl.
That's what makes the game fun. That's the fun in the game right there. Look at what you can do.
Look how awesome this is. That's the Black Pearl inside of, like, the craziness that you can come with, right? And they even made their character look like Captain Jack Sparrow. Okay.
Right. Because he can.
Right.
Because he can.
Then you have Futurama. Okay. You got the
Planet Express?
Yeah, you got the Planet Express. Right? Look how good this is.
Look at that shit. That's incredible.
Isn't that great?
That's why there's ships in the game. That's why there's ships in the game.
So good. So good. I'm like, this is amazing.
That's amazing.
All right, let's see what else they have. We have this is from Star Wars. Okay, this is from isn't this from episodes? This is from the original, or I'm sorry, from the prequels. Okay.
Wait, that's a shot from the movie, right?
No, this is inside the game.
That's inside the game?
Yeah.
Are you shitting me right now? The Republic Cruiser? Yeah. That's inside the game.
Yeah, someone created it. Yeah.
Wow. That looks fucking dead on. Are you serious right now? Look at that shit.
Yeah, that's good. All right.
That's fucking amazing.
Okay. Then you have what's this one?
That's incredible.
This is another one. I mean, just look at some of these things. They look absolutely badass. Right?
Yeah. By the way, just in case anyone didn't catch this, during one of the load screens, I know you guys hate them, right? It said in the bottom of the screen as a tooltip, right? It said, ships larger than 80 meters cannot land on a planet. And I said, why would that be on there? What do you mean ships larger than 80 meters can't land on a planet? How does that work? So I can make a ship and do what with it? Leave it up in the sky somewhere and then dock with it with another ship?
I guess you would have to...
My brain is starting to go wild now. Think, wait, if I make a ship that's that big, then what do I do? How do I get home?
Fast travel down to the bottom. I would think. I don't know.
But you can't land. So how does that work?
I don't know. Right, so here's the X-Wing. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good X-Wing.
I mean, it looks like it's because it's got the two forks. It looks like a Z95, but yes, it could be an X-Wing.
Yeah. Then you have this Millennium Falcon, which I think is a pretty damn good one. Right? This is a good Millennium Falcon here. Like, living the fantasy, man. This looks
like that's... People are going to be showing blueprints online how to make these ships. Like, that's going to be a community thing to make these ships.
Somebody found this. I don't know if that's the Sears Tower or if that's the Empire State Building, but that's in the game. Okay.
No, that's no, wait a minute. That's not I think that's altered. Is that
fake?
That's where London is on Earth.
Is that fake? That looks like the Empire State Building.
But I think that's doctored. Is
that doctored? I don't know.
Yeah, because the building. I don't think the building looks like that. Maybe he got it from a better angle, and it looks like that.
I have no idea. So, Those are some of the ships and whatnot.
That's incredible.
So I also found out. Well, let's stay on the ships for a second. Okay, the ships. I love the absolute ships. Have you messed with the interiors of your ships? Like, you can't physically go on the ship and change stuff, but you can buy the sections and then push left or right on the D-pad, and they have sections.
And depending on how they connect, they change the inside of the ship depending on how they connect.
So actually, that goes into a con. I would like to add that to the con list, right? So when you're building a ship, I would love to go inside the ship to see what the interiors look like just a quick button to tell me what it looks like. Because right now you have to buy it and then run back to your ship, go inside, walk around the physical ship and go, I don't like this, and then run back out and say,
oh, I see.
Modify the ship, right?
Because you don't know how it looks yet.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So I would like them to add something so when you're building the ship, you know what the insides look like. Now, obviously, if you play the game long enough, you're going to know what the insides look like, right? But
sure.
But for now, for people to figure out what it is, they need to do something with that. But I absolutely love the ships. Now, let's talk about the ship battle. What do you think of the spaceship battles in space that no one wants to do because they just want to fast travel everywhere? I've wasted 3 hours just in space.
I could see how people would say that the ship combat could probably be better, but at the same time, I always wanted to do some type of ship combat from Mass Effect, and I could never do it in Mass Effect, and I'm allowed to do it in this. And the ships are pretty big, right? Depending on the class ship you have. The combat in space reminds me of a more advanced version of X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. It has a little bit of Wing Commander in there.
You think it's more advanced than that?
It's a more advanced version of X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, because you can, the same thing in X-Wing, you can manipulate the shield engines,
shields and all the
right?
The firepower.
This one has more things, right? This one just has more things because you have more weapons. But the fact that speed control dictates turning ability, mass of the ship dictates turning ability, a number of engines on the ship dictates turning ability. And so there's this game you can play where you have to know what ships you can fight against and how, otherwise you get smoked, right? When I did the simulator part in the game, I noticed that if you don't approach the combat specifically, you can get smoked right away. It's not just I'm gonna run around and destroy shit right away.
Hold on. I want to show you this. This is Dr. Disrespect. I posted this. He's playing.
Yeah. Is he mad?
He just keeps dying in space.
Yeah, I'm telling you. If you think you can
here, watch this. I'm gonna put him on.
Is there anybody on my team?
Yeah.
I don't know what you want me to do.
It's not just an automatic win, bro.
That really worked.
Yeah.
Press R, Doc. What the is R gonna do? R to lock on. Press R to lock on. I thought it's E. What?
I'll tell you what, and I learned this, when I played the simulator.
He thinks it's a worse simulator, but it's funny. It's not, right? You have to put skill points into the thing, and then
it's not just
the way you build it.
Skill points.
And it's the way you build
skill points, right? You have to know when to use your booster and when to use your thrusters in order to dodge missiles.
Yes.
Right? There's a missile incoming thing that comes in, just like the old times of fighter simulation, where if you heard the missile warning, you had to do a specific move to get out of the way to avoid the missile. It's the same thing. It's not just an automatic win. I put my target on him, so I should win the battle. That's not how it works. Right? And the bigger the ship that you have, the harder it becomes, because you can't
maneuver.
dodge.
You can't maneuver.
You can't dodge. You have to have the right weapons in order to kill the thing fast enough to where you have enough shields to survive the attack. Because otherwise they just zoom around you. So just because you don't win automatically in space combat doesn't mean the space combat sucks.
Exactly. No.
Just like everything else in this game, you have to learn the mechanics and learn how to play the game, as opposed to just knowing everything day one, solve the game week one, and won another game on week 2.
There's literally 6,000 points to put into skills right? Like you can play indefinitely. You can unlock all the stuff. The
You
more
become Jesus.
the more
You
you
become Jesus.
The more you play the game, the more you understand the routes to take for the cities. The more you play the game, the better ship, the captain you would basically be in the fights and stuff. I absolutely love the fighting stuff. I love the hailing that you do. I love the docking stuff that happens when you find certain things in space. You can talk to every single ship. Every single ship that comes out into the system, you can click on and hail them, and they'll talk to you. And you can trade with them, and you get resources from them. You can blow up the asteroids, just like in No Man's Sky. They give you. I
didn't know about the asteroid thing. I heard you talking about that. Is that true?
Yeah, you can blow up the asteroids. They give you the resources.
You can blow up asteroids and get resources.
Yes. Yeah. All right.
Here's something I found out.
All right.
Right. Because I like to wander on desolate planets and just mine shit to find out what's there.
Okay.
Right. I found out I think it was late last night or early this morning, that if you hold left trigger before you push the right trigger for the cutter,
it makes it powerful.
It does a more powerful beam, and you can cut. You can go. You get stuff quicker.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It wasn't taught to me. I just figured it out.
Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of stuff I'm interested in. Like, you just learn a game, right? That's how it was old school way. You just learn the game. That's how it's supposed to be.
Oh, and
you're not supposed to know everything immediately.
My time did update. I'm at was it 2 days 48 and then 16 on top of that. That's 58, 63, 64 hours.
Let's be honest, Stealth. Can you really repair a ship in the middle of a battle? Right.
And that's another thing. Repairing your ship, you need parts. If you have no parts, you can't repair your ship. Right.
Right. But that's why if you like to be in space a lot, I know where to find people. I'm not telling anybody anything. I don't want to ruin anything, but I know where to find people. I know people.
What do you mean?
Right?
Find people.
And you can find the guy. You can find the guy that does better for ship repairs, and you keep him on the ship. And when you press the repair button, that thing moves really quick.
Really?
Because you got because you have the repair guy on. You have the repair guy.
That's cool.
Yes.
All right. Here. Give me a story. Give me a scenario that happened to you in the game. I got a couple right off the top of my head. Yeah, while you think of one, I'll tell
you've had better ones than me, because I have not, in my gameplay, I have not been able to actually steal a ship.
I had
every time a ship lands and I kill the guys, when I try to enter the ship, it says non-accessible or inaccessible.
I had a $76,000 bounty on my head. Okay. Now, I didn't know I had a 76,000. That's just one person that had a bounty on my head. I had 6 bounties on my head. Okay, 6 separate bounties.
I can't steal.
Hold on.
Maybe I'm too good.
6 separate bounties on my head. One was $76,000 alone. Okay, to pay all of them off, it cost me 82,000 credits. Okay, so let me tell you the story of Jack Burton.
But that's perfect Jack Burton story.
Let me tell you a story about Jack Burton. Jack Burton, I took a ship. Okay, stole a ship, landed on a planet to go explore or whatever, and then in the distance, about 1,200 meters away, I hear a ship come and land. Right, and I'm like, what's that? I'm like, no big deal. I continue searching, going through the planet, and then all of a sudden, I had a stampede of animals run towards me. Okay, and I'm talking a stampede, not 3 or 4. I'm talking 23, 25 animals all running towards me, and they're all aggroed, and they're all coming to kill me. Okay? All of a sudden, the bounty hunters start shooting, okay, and kill. I'm like, what's happening right now? Right? Because the guys that landed 1,200 meters away from me were coming after me. But they can't collect the bounty if I'm dead, right? Because they have to kill me. Right? So they shoot the animals and kill the animals and help us kill the animals. And I'm like, oh, cool. I didn't know they were bounty hunters. Right? And I'm like, all right, cool. And I start walking. And then they come up to me and like, all right, you're coming with us. And I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, what's happening? You just helped me. And they're like, and then I talked my way out of it. Okay? I talked my way out of it. And I said, I'm not going with you. You know, he's like, all right, you know what? We'll let you go this time. But next time we find you, okay, we're going to collect. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I let them walk away. And then I shoot them in the back of the head and kill all 4 of them. Okay. I loot one of them, and he's got a recorder on him. And the recorder's got the slate. And on the slate it says, Jack Burton bounty. And it says, that the longer I'm out without being collected, the higher the price goes. Okay? So now I have this on me knowing that everyone and their mother's after me. Okay?
That's badass, dude.
That's amazing. Okay?
That's amazing.
That's amazing. Okay? Another scenario I had just happened the other night. On a moon. I landed on the moon. About 600, 700 ship lands. I go over to the ship. Six guys get out of the ship. Okay? They start patrolling around the area over there, looking around. And I run up into the ship real fast. Okay? So me and Andraja, we run up into the ship. Okay? We steal the ship. And I kill the guys inside and I take off. Right? I make it my home ship and I just take off. Leaving the 6 guys that got out of the ship. Right? I went up to orbit. And I said, I want to see something. I came back down. Landed where my ship was, 600 meters away, ran back over to the landing spot where I stole the ship, and the 6 guys were still there. Okay? The 6 guys were still there, and now they were fighting us because we stole their ship. Okay?
See, the fact that that's even able to happen is a pro to me. That's amazing.
And here's my last story, I'll tell you. It happened this afternoon. Okay? Off stream. I just hailed a ship, okay? And when I hailed, well, actually, this is a couple days ago. I hailed the ship a couple days ago, okay, off stream. I helped them. They're like, hey, can you give me some parts? My ship is broken down, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. And I give them parts, and they're like, oh, thanks a lot, man. And he was part of the Free
List?
Star...
List?
No, Free Star Collective or whatever, right?
Okay, Free Star Collective, okay.
So I'm wanted now, okay? I teleport, or I'm flying into, I jump into a system, and all of a sudden I have bounty hunters on me and they're starting to attack me. Okay, it's 3 versus 1. I'm getting my ass kicked. Okay, and all of a sudden a ship comes into the system and starts shooting at the NPCs that I'm being attacked by. Okay, I blow up one, he blows up one, I almost died, I kill the other guy, right? And the guy hails me and says, hey man, I got your back. Right? He's like, I remember, thanks for giving me the parts. I'm like, what?
Wow.
I was like,
wow, they coded that in there. Wow.
Right. So I got a guy that helped me, that because I helped him, he returned the favor and helped me with bounties.
See,
right?
That's attention to detail, man.
That shit, I was like, game of the year. Right? And now when I say game of the year, okay? When I say game of the year, it's not going to win game of the year. I know it's not going to win game of the year. Baldur's Gate 3 is going to win game of the year. But fucking A, Starfield is my game of the year, right? Like, I absolutely love, okay? I absolutely love everything that they're doing in this game. Like, people might look at it and go, the graphics are not as good, or the role play, or the...
Here's my one pet peeve. Please don't lose your thought. Here's my pet peeve, right? I don't like the way some of the characters look. I'm not sure if it's a lighting thing. Like, They look good. They look good, but it's like, why does everyone look so ugly? I know what you guys have done in the past. Even with Fallout 4, your guys' face expression. Here's like the give and take, right? If you don't read the bottom, right? If you just look at them talk, the mouth moves almost perfect to the words, and their expressions match what they're feeling and the words that they're saying. They've done a great job with that. I thought that was crazy.
Yeah.
Like the way they look, the sarcastic eye movement, the look over, like whatever they're doing, whatever program they're using to do that is done very well. It's not perfect.
No.
But a lot of the people just look ugly.
Yeah. The thing is, I'm okay with the little flaws here and there. Like the stories I just said, I've had dozens of them. I've had dozens of stories.
But that's perfect for what you're role playing. That's perfect.
But it's not even that. It's just the mentality of what the game is. And I'm like, this is not a game, man. I was like, this is like an experience. I absolutely love it. And it's literally up there. Like I said earlier, Mass Effect was there for me. I loved Mass Effect. I loved being Shepard and talking to all the companions and getting into them and getting enthralled inside the whole story of what them and being attached to my companions. I don't have that with the companions in this game as of yet, right? But I am attached. Andraja, I actually like her. Okay, Sarah's a bitch. Right? Reese loves he married her in the game. Did you know you can get married in the game? You can get married in the game, right? It's like
I'll tell you right now, I'm marrying nobody in this game until a modder puts in the beautiful faces. Until a modder puts in better faces for females in this game, I'm not getting married until then.
So just the stories that are in this game. So give me a story, Sarge. What happened to you inside the game?
I don't have anything close to what has happened to you. Right? I think I'm trying to think of anything even close or remotely close to that.
I'll give you another one. This just happened right before I stream. Right? Random cave. I walk into a cave, and I've been in dozens of caves, right? And there's all different types, and I find different things inside there. There was nothing in this cave. Right? I go all the way to the back corner, and all of a sudden, it's dark, so I put my flashlight on, and I'm looking around, and I see bodies everywhere. Like I see just animal bodies everywhere. Okay, whatever was living in the cave, and all of a sudden I hear, "Wait, stay back!" And I'm like, and I shine the light, and I see this woman in the corner, huddled down, and she's back, and she's holding herself like she's injured, and she's like, "Stay away! They bit me. I'm infected." And I'm like, and a dialogue window pops up, and it says, "Are you okay? Let me help you." And she's like, "No, I'm contagious. Stay back." And you're like, "I can help you." And I gave her a med pack. Right? The story that was just written out there. There's dead bodies everywhere. She killed all the animals, and in the process, she got bit. Right? And I'm like, this is awesome, dude. I was like, a random cave. Random person in there. How long has she been there, right? Like, how long has she been in that cave? Could be days, could have been weeks. Obviously, it's a game. I would just put her in there. But the story that when you walk in, they're like, holy shit, I just saved this woman's life. She could have been there for days, right?
The one story that I have that is good, I can't tell because it might be a spoiler for you and some people in chat.
Okay.
That's the one good story that I have. I can't tell you. I know it sounds stupid, like I'm making it up, right? I'll give you the example, right? So something I did in the game caused me to be hunted by random people.
Okay.
Right? So on occasion now, when I'm on a planet, these people come down, and they're usually closer than other ships that come down. They're kind of close. They're not like the farther away ones.
Right.
They're like within 300 or 500. They're like close, right? And I thought it was weird because I didn't recognize the ship at all. The ship looked weird, right? And that's the photo I sent you. I know you don't share it. That's the photo I sent you.
Okay.
So I fight these guys, right? They're 10 levels higher than me. And they have been 10 levels higher than me, regardless of what level I am. So I got them at 15. I started getting them around 15, all right? And they were 25. Now I'm 25, and they're 35. Okay? They're always 10 above me whenever I run into them, right? So the gunfight lasts a while. I think that they're there to burn my ammunition because I don't want to die, right? Right? So the problem with this is that when I finally kill them, there's never a body.
Okay. I don't know what that means. I don't know. I've never come across anybody like that.
I never get to get whatever weapon they're using against me, and there's no body.
Interesting.
So when they die, something happens to them.
Interesting.
I thought it was a glitch, but I got attacked soon after with different people. They drop stuff, no big deal. But these guys who are after me, no loot, no bodies.
God, the stories, man, the stories that.
Oh, I got a couple things for you.
All right, go ahead.
This won't fuck up anybody, right? I'm sentimental, so when I run into something that I think is funny looking or looks kind of cool, I use the photo mode and I take a picture of it, right? What I didn't realize is that during load screens,
that's
whatever photos you've been
Fallout
taking,
76 does that. I think Fallout 4 did that as well.
They put them on the screen for you to look at.
I take pictures all the time now.
They cycle through them.
I take pictures all the time now. Okay, I want to talk about the world for a second, right?
All right.
Before the game launched, people were talking about the tile system. They wanted it, they're like, oh, it's only a tile, and I don't want to get too aggravated about this because I'm just like, Skyrim was a 17 by 17 map. The whole map. The one game. Oh, real quick. Paul Gaming Live, thank you very much for the 5 months. He says, one of my favorite RPGs ever. I agree. I concur. Thank you very much for the continued membership. So people are talking about how, well, you're going to hit the boundary. I've never hit the boundary.
Not yet.
Right? Never hit the boundary. And I've been to everywhere on the map that I'm exploring, right? I go to all the points and stuff like that. I absolutely love it. That's not my pet peeve. My pet peeve, or not my pet peeve, but what I'm blown away by, I put 4 pictures in my Discord the other day, right? And I said, these are all in the same place. Let me bring up these pictures, okay? And obviously it's procedurally generated, but it's procedurally generated based on the actual land. So I went onto like a peninsula, okay? Where is those pictures I took? Okay. And when I went there, it was water on 3/4 of the sides of me, and there was mountains and stuff. So I went there, and here's one of the pictures. Let me bring that up. Right. So this is like, where the fuck is it? Oh, it's not going to show it. Let me see if I can open up in a new tab. Okay. So this is like hillside mountain, like, to the left of me. What you can't see right now, there's like giant mountains. And I said, oh, there's an ocean. This was an ocean. Okay. Next to me. So then from that, this is the same planet, right? I went back up, picked the northern hemisphere where there was snow. Okay. And then I had this happen where this is a blizzard. You can't really see the snow in the picture. You can sort of see the little pixels and stuff, but there was literally a blizzard going on. Okay. I couldn't see. It was very, very foggy. Blizzard was happening. Same planet. One was on the equator. One was north, like the North Pole type of stuff, right? On the same planet, okay, on the same planet, I went to another location, okay? And in this location, this is the same planet, okay? Same exact planet. And then this is what you see. This is what you see here, okay? Now, there's this mountain that I went on, and it's like a landscape of the thing. Now, this is all the same planet. This is not, you know, people are, well, I want to travel the entire planet. Like, you're not going to do that. Let's just be honest. You didn't do it in No Man's Sky. You're not going to do it here. You're not going to walk your ass around the entire planet. The fact that they made the different biomes on the one planet, like it's an actual thing, is really cool. Here's the last picture I'll show you, which is still the same planet, okay? This is the lower tier, okay, of this. And then this is the last picture I took of this. And this mountaintop that I'm on, okay, is 800 meters up from where I started, okay? Meaning I climbed the entire mountain after I went across this entire valley. And yeah, you can see the end of the tile all the way in the back over there, okay? Which is 2,000 meters away from me, okay? And I went 800 up. So if you laid this mountain down, it's halfway the distance of the thing. This thing is mind-boggling to me. The way I went through deep forest, like a thick forest. Okay, I came out of the forest and it gradually changed into like a meadow type of thing. And I know this sounds like weird, but like Minecraft does the same thing with different biomes and stuff like that, right? But they've done such a wonderful job with these tiles that are 16 by 16.
That also helps you with your surveying. If you notice that if you're on a life planet where there's life, if you get so many creatures in a biome, it'll say on the corner biome complete, which means in order to complete the animals, the fauna and the flower for that area, you have to change biomes. You know that, right?
Right.
Like, I'm not sure if everyone knows how to do the survey thing, but the survey thing is the circles are like really impressive natural phenomenon that happen on the planet. And just because you find a location that has one of them doesn't mean you'll complete it at that location, meaning that you'll have to find the same thing in a different location for that circle, that one circle to complete, right? Also, the biome thing is a helpful tip that, yeah, it'll say biome complete. So at least you know to stop looking for any other creatures in that biome for you to change to go to a different one to complete the other animals.
Right, and this is one of the things I said earlier on before the game even came out. I said, I hope it's not like No Man's Sky where like all the animals are in one spot. Like there's no reason to explore. Like you can stop on this side of the planet or that side of the planet.
Correct.
It's going to have all the same animals. It's going to have all the same stuff. It's going to have all the same resources. This, you might find 7 of the 8, and then you might have to go somewhere else on the planet to go find the 8th. It's not going to be that easy for you. It wants you to explore. It's pushing you out to explore the planet.
Exactly. It does it on purpose. It pushes you out. Yep.
Yeah. So
yeah, I think the game design, and I know it sounds crazy, but the way they designed it, it's meant for you to be doing incremental jumps of things in the game in order for you to learn what the game mechanics actually do. It's not just supposed to be, I'm so-and-so, I'm going to go to A to B to C to D, and then when I get to Z, I win the game. Like, that's not how this goes, right? They've established this game to where they can release DLC or whatever they want into the world anytime they want to add to whatever they want.
Right, to whatever planet they want, whatever story they want.
It's madness.
I was wondering how they were going to monetize, and this actually goes into a great little.
Oh, you can see how
well,
they do
one, if you go to the bench and pick on any gun or any piece of gear, it says skin mod, right? And when you click on the skin at the bottom, it shows you the skin that you have. Now, obviously, if you paid the $30 or got the $100 version, they give you a skin for your cannon, your gun, that the mining gear, right? The cutter. So they give you the skin for that, and they give you a skin for something else. So I think on the box, it does say in-game purchases, right? If that's DLC or if that's going to be some sort of creation shop that they put in later that you can buy the skins and whatnot and make it to your character, I could see them doing that, right? Is that put a bad taste in my mouth? No, honestly, it doesn't, because of the vast amount of shit that you can do in this game, okay? And you don't have to pay for this game. You can literally just play it on Game Pass, right? Another way I think they can monetize this, Sarge, and maybe I said this a couple of months ago, I'll say it again. I think at some point they do some sort of multiplayer. Now, I don't mean like they're going to do an online, like an MMO type of thing, but I do think I do think
like 76.
They do like a Starfield 1 or whatever they're going to call it, where you can rent a private server. And then if I want to play with you and Stealth and Water, I can invite maybe 1, 2, or 3 of my friends, and we can all get on the ship together, and we can go on adventures together. Right? You see what I'm saying?
That would be the cherry on this fucking Sunday if we could do that.
Now, I don't know.
I mean, but let's be honest. They did 76. What makes you think they couldn't do it here?
I think they can 100%, especially if they're doing a private server where you're renting server space, and then basically they're just, you're hosting the server space, and you can build what you want. You can travel where you want. I don't know. It might be pretty cool. I don't know if it's in the cards, if it's down the road, but I don't know, man. Something about this game, it again, it's like once in a decade type of stuff. Like, you just experience the game. And unfortunately, real quick, for them, they were supposed to come out last year. Okay, it was supposed to come out in November of last year. Now, it might have been less polished than it is now. Okay, but it was supposed to come out last year. And I think if it came out last year, and let's say it was the same polish it was state that it is now, people would have looked at this and said, wow, this is the next level of that RPG status. But
I see what you're saying.
But now that it came out this year, after Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate raised the bar of RPG status. Okay, and yes, they're 2 completely different games. One's isometric, one's an open world thing, right? But because Baldur's Gate 3 came out, and it's a wonderful, wonderful RPG game, right? I think they surpassed the bar that was raised by Starfield, so they just skipped them.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So I think if Starfield came out last year, I think people would have looked at this and said, wow, this is pretty good. But because Baldur's Gate 3 came out, it just took the wind right out of their sail, right? Doesn't make Starfield a bad RPG by any means, but now we know where RPGs can be. And the bar has been raised twice before it even before it even came out. You know what I'm saying?
I believe that regardless of what any of these stupid reviewers gave the score to, I believe that Bethesda knows this is the best work they've ever done in this engine.
Sure. Yeah.
By far. They know it, right? Doesn't matter what anybody says. Are there problems? Yes, nothing's perfect. But what they were able to accomplish with this engine in this game is phenomenal.
Yeah,
Now, I know some people don't like the engine. They don't like the game. But I've been playing Bethesda games a long time. I like to get lost inside their worlds.
I do
you
too.
know how long I played Skyrim for? Do you know how long I played? I played Skyrim for like 5 years, bro.
Yeah,
right? The 2 games I played the longest was Skyrim and Borderlands 2.
Yeah,
right?
Borderlands 2 was, yeah.
Borderlands 2 I played for 3 years, and Skyrim I played for 5.
I'm being dead serious.
This game is insane.
This
game is insane.
I'm being dead serious. I'm probably gonna play this and this only for the rest of the year because I'm just so enthralled with it. Right? This is not 63 hours. And I'm like, I'm kind of no. I'm just amazed. And if stream doesn't want me to play it anymore, then I'll play it off stream. But I'm gonna continuously play on this game because it's just so fascinating to me. Because every cave I go into now, there might be an occasion.
I take pictures of everything. I'm documenting basically everything I've ever seen.
Now I know a lot of people are like, well, I got the exact same outpost on a different planet, and I know it's randomly generated, and maybe you get unlucky, and that's what happens. Maybe you go back to back. I think if you play this game where you're just doing main story or you're just doing whatever side quest and you're just doing that over and over, I think it's almost like playing another game where you're just like grinding that main story. If you're
gonna see the same building over.
Yeah, if you play
you're gonna
this,
see the repeat. You're gonna see the repeat.
Of course, at some time you're gonna see the repeat.
You're gonna see the repeat.
But there's so much going on and so other things going on. Like I think if you just did surveying, you would get burnt out real fast. And if you just did the main story, you would get burnt out real fast. But if you did a little bit of surveying, and then you did a mission, and then you did a from the mission board, and then you did a side mission, and then you went to the main story mission, I think that's how the game's. I mean, play how you want. I mean, guy put 3,000 potatoes in a cockpit, right? And that's what they wanted to do. I don't know. I just feel like that's the way the game should be played. But anyway, obviously, anyone can play the game how they want to play it. Dolphin says, you can play it. You can play it all year. I lost my shit when you pistol whipped your companion by accident. Oh my god, I felt so bad. I didn't mean to do it. I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do it. And my gun was glitched out. I couldn't shoot. I had 3 glitches in the game. I got stuck on a ladder. Yeah, last night my pistol wouldn't shoot for a little bit. Right, I couldn't shoot. I couldn't do anything. And my game crashed yesterday for the first time, which I thought had to do with basically everyone was trying to get on. I don't know if that's a thing, but I found my first crash, and it was like an hour within the game. But I pistol whipped her by accident. It was funny. I love it. I absolutely there's moments of time that I love games, right? Like in Marvel's Avengers, I love being Hulk and smashing things. It brought a smile to my face, right? Red Dead Redemption 2, I just love the complete story. Hogwarts Legacy, I just love exploring the castle. This game, or I should say this experience, right, is just mind-numbing, man. It's just mind-numbing in a good way. I'm just amazed by the amount of things that could happen. And your stories are different than my stories. And things that are happening to me are different than Mo's and Sean and Silent Warrior. And we're all having things. And everyone's like, hey, did you have this? It's not a linear game. I didn't do the same thing as you. You're not doing the same thing as me.
Right, you're not going to have that Mass Effect moment where you reach a point in the game where you've done this. Like, you might not do that for a month. I don't know where you are.
Right.
You might not do the same thing.
So, before the show, I'm going to try to stay as Sarge and I are at the exact same spot, right, in the main story. I did something, he did something. We were literally there at the exact same time, okay? Obviously not in the same game, but separate. But we were at the exact same time. I
thought it was fascinating that when you were in the temple, I was doing the same mission at the same time.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought that was it was crazy.
Right. And Sarge, after that moment in the temple, he's experienced something completely different than I've experienced. He asked me before the show, did this happen to you? And I went, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I was just amazed that we did the same thing. But something my choice that I did compared to his choice is different. And going to what people are talking about as the review scores and whatnot, I honestly don't give two craps if everyone gives this game a 1, right? In my head, this game is the perfect game for right now, right? This game is amazing to me. It's taken everything away from all other games that I want that were in my backlog. I don't care about them. This game I love right now, and maybe it'll last 100 hours. Maybe it'll last 1,000 hours. I don't know. But right now, I'm just blown away by the magic of what Todd Howard's done. And I don't care that I can't lift off from the planet up to the atmosphere. I don't care that there's load screens for 7 seconds to 11 seconds. I don't care that the guys piercing through the door or shooting through the glass. There's so many pros to this game that it just shuns away the cons. And I do that in my whole life. If pros are more than cons, then it's a win, right? Especially for games. Like, video games are supposed to be fun. And maybe people have fun just shitting on games, but I'm having fun shitting on people in the game, right? Like, I love that I'm Jack Burton and it just role-playing as that character. And it's an absolute phenomenal time for me. Now, is this game meant for everybody? No game is meant for everybody. People might be getting caught up in the hype because I like a Bethesda game, and you're listening to this going, oh man, it sounds so good, I want to play it. And then you turn it on, you're like, I don't get it. It's fucking boring. And I get that. Not all games are meant for everybody, but goddamn, am I having a good time with this game.
I told you, every sci-fi movie ever is inside this game.
Yeah.
Every single one. There's something about everything is in there.
Dupless, I said that Baldur's Gate 3 will win Game of the Year, but Starfield is my Game of the Year. Like, it's my Game of the Year. It won't win, but it's goddamn, it's mine.
You have to look, and I compare it to other sci-fi games like in the same type. Like look what Knights of the Republic did. Look what Knights of the Republic 2 did. Look what the Mass Effect series did. Like, and these worlds kept getting bigger. And this is like, even though they're not the same company, but this is like the natural progression of what the sci-fi games can do. And Starfield and Bethesda have shown what their engine can do, and it's insane. It's just insane what happens inside this game. There's always going to be something that pulls you out of the magic of the game, but this game, because of its situational status, like what it is, you can lose yourself inside this game and just have pure fun with it, and just exist in like this little playground. Like, you don't have to go anywhere. Like, you're just there.
But
it's done very well.
My biggest thing is, man, I said it with Skyrim, I said it with Fallout 3, I said it with Fallout 4. Those games needed I wanted to play with you, like just co-op, two people playing together in that Fallout world, in that, right? Fallout 76 missed the mark to me because it just went the wrong way for me. I still enjoyed it, but I would love this game to just be, if they come out, right? I made fun of Fallout first. I was like, who's going to pay for that, right? But if they did a Starfield first and there was private servers, I might rent that. Because if I could play that game with you or somebody else and just explore, like, think how cool this would be. You get in the ship and you're one of the companions, and we're in the ship and you're in the not the captain's chair, but the co-pilot seat, right? And then we go on a mission. How badass is that? That would be so badass.
But how it would work? Like, I'm thinking of all the possibilities of the game. Like, I see how 76 works. Right? Could they do what they did in 76 in this game?
I think they can at a smaller scale. I don't think they have to do the 16 or whatever 24 players that they have. I think they could do a 2 to 4.
Like, you wouldn't get two ships to fly against each other type of thing.
No,
but
it would be my host. I'm renting the server. You're coming into my server, right? So you won't be having your own ship in your own world. You're just a companion in my world.
You're the crew of the ship.
Right, you're the crew of the ship, and we're going on an adventure together. You know? I don't know. That would be amazing.
I don't know. They did a nice job, man. I'm waiting to see. You got to let a couple weeks go by that all the normies now have the game. or can download the game whenever they want. The game is not for sale. You can buy the game if you want to buy the game, but you don't have to buy the game. This is what makes it so ridiculous that you are able to play this game for just having Game Pass.
Well,
do you not understand the ramifications of that?
I have a question for you now, because we always say that Game Pass is good, is the best value, but we also say it's bad for the industry, right? And we always say that games, like, they're just going to make Game Pass games. Does this change that? Does this change? Because look at Redfall. Redfall
It doesn't because of the factors leading up to how it became what it was. They got bought out. Remember, Bethesda received a large sum of money in order to be part of Microsoft. Okay? They got paid, right? So they have a large chunk of money before this game even came out.
Right.
Right? Whatever deals that they have for being on Game Pass, whether it be hours engaged or whatever they're talking about, I don't know the deal, but we know there's a deal in there somewhere. But they got money before they got money. Remember, right? You buy the company, that company now receives that large chunk of money, and now you have to put that game on there, right? So is the money I paid you for your studio part of the money that that game is going on Game Pass and it's exclusive now?
Right.
You have to pay me for that too, right? So they got paid probably quite a bit for this game to exist on Game Pass as a gamble.
Right.
Right? As a gamble, because they got bought out right when the game right near when the game's about to come out anyway. Right? So what does that say about it? It probably is just lucky for the moment that happened, because I don't think that would work in any other situation, because a studio has to get paid, bro. They have to get paid for their game. That's $100 game.
Well,
easy.
Well, we could speak about
That's
it next.
That's $100 game.
We'll speak next week when we do all stories. So here's two things that are happening right now, right? So let me bring this up on the screen. This is Play Tracker. Play Tracker said sampling data comes slowly with a delay. Full launch is tomorrow, and we'll be launching fireworks. So this is from September 5th, right? And it said Play Tracker estimates that Starfield is fully releasing tomorrow. Okay, it had 1 million plus players on Steam VI Premium Edition, and then Xbox 1 million plus players on Xbox Premium Edition. But it's not concurrent; just the players that like purchased the premium. So there's over 2 million people that had the Premium Edition. Now, obviously, that's not full price. That's not talking about price. It's just like you had the $30 edition, so you get the Premium Edition, right? But you didn't pay for the main game, so you only paid $30 instead of $100. So there's 2 million people there, right? And then this came out just before the show. This came out at like 6 p.m. It says, as of this morning, Starfield has already surpassed 6 million players, making the biggest Bethesda game launch of all time. Now, again, this is not saying that 6 million people bought the game, right? This is just 6 million people. We know 2 million people bought something of the game, 4 million people. So this is 6 million, right? And people are going to look at this and go, well, it's only 6 million, right? So let's look at the mental gymnastics someone would have to do, right? Because someone will bring up Final Fantasy and they made 3.3 million sales, right? But let's just say 3.3 million people played Final Fantasy out of the 38 million potential opt-in system that was out there, right? Now you have only 22 million Xboxes, next gen, right? S's and X's out there, and then you have PC, and it made 6 million. Now, I don't know how many of this 6 million is Xbox, but how can someone with a straight face say 3.3 out of a 38 million opt-in, right? Consoles out there for PlayStation, and yet 22 million for Xbox, and yet 6 million. That's a better percentage, right? Now, obviously, there's PC users, and you can look at the PC numbers, which is 265 consecutive, concurrent at 265,000 players that were pre-early of Starfield before the game actually launched, which is 24 hours from now, or from today. It was 24 hours before. So it's been out for 24 hours now for everybody. So they're at 6 million right now. Obviously, there was another number out there earlier today. I didn't know how real it was or not, but it said 20 million active players. I don't know what that means, right? Nobody knows what that means. Does that mean that someone hit the A button to download it from Game Pass, right?
Right.
And if that's the case, there was people that bought it. Let's just say 2 million people bought the game. And then there's an additional 18 million people that, if there's only 22 million people, 25 million people that have Game Pass, is it potentially that 20 of the 25 million all hit A to download, just to try it? Do you know what I mean? Now, obviously, that's not 20 million people are going to love the game and stay in, this is the greatest game of all time. But just the amount of factor that Xbox can play a game like this by just hitting A to try it if you have Xbox. 25 million people have a Game Pass. People are playing it on the Xbox One right now, right? Xbox One right now, they're playing it.
I don't know how that will work.
It's going through the cloud. I actually watched some gameplay and it actually looked pretty smooth.
On an Xbox One.
Xbox One X, yep.
Through the cloud, and it's working.
Yep. Yeah, and it actually looks pretty good. Obviously, it doesn't look as graphically as the Xbox Series X or the PC.
That must be some kind of crazy test that they're doing, dude, if that's working.
Right. If you play 5 minutes of Starfield on Game Pass, are you classed a player? Yeah, it would just be...
I don't know.
Snake, it would just count active, right? If you hit A, meaning you downloaded it, right? Engaged in, use that word as engaged, right? 20 engaged users, meaning they hit the button to download it, to preload it, to play it, whatever. I don't know. And here's the thing. We'll never know the actual number until they want us to know the number, like this.
Right.
6 million. You know what I mean?
Right.
But wait for it. Next week's show, I guarantee you there'll be some sort of number. There'll be like 45 million planets explored, 17 million ships were created. They're going to have that breakdown sheet thing that's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Not game sales.
No game sales.
Game sales numbers.
No, you're never going to get the game sales. Right.
Right.
Yeah. They'll tell you how many Game Pass users or total users, and you'll have to figure out if it was Game Pass or people that bought it or whatever.
I don't know, man. If anything was going to get people to get Game Pass and keep it for a while, this is probably it.
The Xbox One S is different than the Xbox Series. Yeah, the Xbox One X is the generation before the Xbox Series S and X came out. You could play Starfield on last gen console through the cloud.
That's got to be some kind of test thing that they're doing, bro. It's got to be. That's insane.
D-Money says, been telling people Microsoft started playing chess. Sony can stay the checker champion all they want. Yeah, I said they're doing a different ballpark, right? Sony can have their market, and they do. Nintendo has their market. They do. This is the first time, and it's been, again, it's not getting great reviews. I think it's like a 70 overall on Xbox or whatever, and that's fine. But the people that are playing the game, that are literally trying the game, and it doesn't matter if it takes 10, 12 hours to get good. The people that are playing the game, they don't have time to review. I never reviewed a game. I've never reviewed a game on Xbox. Okay, I just play the game. I've never ever submitted a review of anything. Okay, the people that are playing it have experience. And when someone comes in and says, "Well, the gunplay feels," that's another thing we didn't talk about. The gunplay feels good. The gunplay feels good, right?
The gunplay feels it's okay. I'm still learning about what the percentages and the point skills related to gun sway and range and what's effective and what's not because of there's a lot of stuff happening because of the mods, right? You have to level up the mods first and what the mods do, and if the mods count towards either hit detection or sway movement, or there's so many factors to look at. The gunplay is decent when I have a couple legendary weapons that do other kinds of damage. But to me, it's still a work in progress. I can't give you a definitive yes or no on the gunplay completely yet because I haven't unlocked all the abilities. We talked about it early on.
I'm looking something up real fast. What's it called? Oh, I lost my train of thought now. We talked about the gunplay. We talked about
what else? What else did we leave out? Did we leave out something? I'm trying to think. I don't want no spoilers. I'm just trying to think what else we're missing here.
Yeah, I'm sure we missed something on the thing. Let's see. This says here. how to play on the. Okay, you can play Starfield on the Xbox One when it releases on Wednesday, September 6, 2023, by subscribing to Game Pass Ultimate and streaming the game with Xbox Cloud Gaming, including with your subscription. To do this, you will need the latest update on your console installed. That's what it says. I haven't done it myself. Maybe it's delayed, but 100%. Who said you couldn't? Power Boss says you can't do it, but you can. So maybe something's happening, and I haven't tested it out myself. But in an article that was from 2 days ago, says that you can 100% play on your Xbox One through the Ultimate Game Pass through the cloud.
We got to go through some of these things here. Time out. Okay, so first thing is, let's talk real briefly about DigiPix. Okay.
Oh, I like the game.
Here's my question about DigiPix. Why is it when you're choosing whatever pattern to pick that the circle changes color? Does the color change mean that it's able to be used in that circle, or is that something else? What does that color change mean? Do you notice that?
The blue ring.
It goes from blue to white.
Yeah,
depending on what you pick.
I'm not sure.
So does the color change mean that it can be used? If it turns blue, it can be used for that? Because sometimes you can use the wrong one because the circles underneath turn blue as well. They're telling you that that thing can be used for multiple circles.
For multiple things then.
Right.
You have to have 2 points. Power Boss says you have to have 2 points into locking. Yeah, Power Boss, it wasn't me like showing you up or anything like that. I just know the thing, and then Bob Simple says that he's playing it on the Xbox One. So there you go.
Then Quintar says companion gear slots would be awesome. I don't understand. You could give your companions gear and make them wear it. What do you mean by gear slots?
Yeah, what do you mean by that, Quintar?
What do you mean by that, Quintar? Because you can give your companions a piece of gear and put it on them, force them to wear it. You just tell them to equip it.
Yeah, you have to equip it. Like when you trade with them, you can hit equip.
I want to make sure what he's talking about. If he's talking about that or not. If he's talking about something else.
Yeah, on my show, I just try to make. I don't want to make it like I'm saying something that's not like fact. I want to double check. That's all.
So here's the issue, Quintar. For some reason, and I don't know what decides this. Most weapons your companion will use as long as he has ammunition for it. Even if it's just one bullet. But there are some guns
they like over others
they won't use.
Yes,
even if they have the ammunition for it.
If you give them a rifle and let's say they like pistol, they'll choose the pistol over the rifle.
Right. It's weird. I haven't figured out like what all my companions actually like to use or not, but I do realize that if you give them a bullet for the gun and you give them the gun and you force it on them, you equip it, they'll use it. But there's certain ones that they won't use. Like a certain class of weapon. It's weird.
Right.
I haven't figured out the actual what decides that or not.
If you guys want to ask questions in chat, just here actually I'll put the question thing up. If you guys want to ask questions about what we talked about with Starfield. Let's see.
Like cuz I know I gave Sarah has that Solstice gun. That's the one she really likes to do. So I happened to find like an epic version of the Solstice gun. And so I modified it and then I gave it back to her and she loves it. She destroys with it. So I don't give her anything else because she actually hits with the gun she likes.
Right.
So why would I take it from her?
We have a Q&A session right now. If you guys want to click the blue bar, if you're watching on the computer or the mobile phone. You can just click the blue bar up on top and then submit a question, and we'll
Some of the guys in the Reddit seem to think that the old Earth guns seem to be doing better. They actually respond better. So every time I find one now, I just keep it in the vault until I'm going to test it out.
I have a question. I have a question, Serge. What's an old Earth gun?
It's labeled old Earth gun.
I've never found one.
Old Earth rifle, old Earth shotgun, old Earth pistol. They're labeled old Earth.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Have you? We didn't talk about chat. We didn't talk about base building because none of us have done base building yet.
I haven't played it enough.
70 something hours and 64 hours. Haven't touched base building. You have a sniper that's nuts. I haven't found one yet. Okay, there was what was the other thing? There was another.
Yeah, see, old Earth hunting rifle. See, there's another one. I haven't found the hunting rifle yet.
Interesting. See, this
Yep.
is amazing. You know what this is? This is. I feel like I'm 10 years old again.
That pistol though, I think it's called the Rattler. The modified version of the Rattler is the gun from Blade Runner. In case anyone's wondering.
I feel like I'm 10 years old again, and I'm like having like conversations with my friends. Oh, you gotta play this game. This game's amazing. You gotta do that. Like that's what I feel like. All these different stories and different things I didn't know.
But you don't have to buy it. This is the most insane thing ever, bro.
And that's why I don't understand.
This game is not. You don't have to buy the game.
That's the biggest thing for me, right? Like I've been saying that, you know, there's mediocre games and stuff. This is not a mediocre game. It might get a mediocre score, but it's not a mediocre game. This is a beefy game, man. So much so that $100, if I paid $100, I would definitely have my money's worth almost, right? And I haven't even done the main campaign. I haven't touched the main. I've done maybe five missions to the main campaign. I've done all side quests. I've done no quests. I just go to a random planet and just explore, right? And then random shit happens. Oh, here's another story I had. I didn't know what to do. I built just a little outpost. I didn't really build anything. I put my own mission board. On the mission board, it said
you could put your own mission board.
Yeah, you can have a mission board. You can put a kiosk down for your own missions. Yeah, right.
Where the missions come from? From who?
It's on a kiosk. You build a kiosk at your base, and then you can just grab missions from it.
You make your own mission board.
Yeah, there's a mission board, and then there's a bounty board, right? You can take bounties from there as well. Okay, so I have
I need a spot for my black market items.
Well, that's another. Oh my god. I could go into a story about that.
I need a spot.
Have you been to jail yet, Sarge? Have you been to jail?
No, because I always make sure that the black market items are not on the ship when I enter the system.
I've been to jail, and it's funny, just the stuff. Anyway, so I got a mission, right? I got a mission. I took it from my board that I had to just take these people to another location. So I took these people to another location, and they were on my ship, just two strangers on my ship. And I'm like, who are these people? I'm like, oh right, I got to take them. So you go to the system, I drop them off in a town.
Jaggy.
I drop them off in a town, and then I get approached by a random person that gives me another mission, which then goes on. So picking a mission from the board and then dropping those people off, I met another person. 3 hours later, Sarge, I went from one mission to the next mission to the next mission. They all connected because I took a mission from the mission board to drop two people off on a random planet, which then I came across a settlement, which then gave me another mission to do, and then I had to help them out. I almost felt like I was playing the A-Team. You know how the A-Team would go around and help people? Or even season 1 of Mando, right? He would show up to a village, and they're like, oh, we're being attacked by the locals. And they're like, oh, okay, I'll help you, save you. That's what I felt like I was doing for 3 hours. It's amazing. It's amazing. All right. Anyone has any questions, please submit. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, then I guess we don't have any questions. Simple as that. Let's see.
I'm hoping that they give us some things to put down. Like I know it sounds strange, but I've been finding these snow globes kind of reminiscent of Fallout 4. And so I've been collecting the snow globes. I'm just trying to find a spot to put them.
How many I've never found a snow globe.
Yeah, I've got 4 or 5
Are
of
the
them.
snow globes like the Fallout guys that you bobbleheads?
No, they're not. They don't tell you anything special about them. And everybody knows about the magazines, right? Like
I was just going to bring that up. There's magazines that you can pick up.
Every point of interest anywhere, you have to explore because there might be a magazine, like
which gives you permanent.
Give you like a permanent bonus.
Yep. I've been collecting plushies. I've seen the plushies.
I thought the plushies were collectibles too, but because they make noise. When you put them in your inventory, they make a little cute noise. I'm like, there's got to be a reason why they're making that noise.
Powerhouse, I'm not going to read that question because I don't know what that is, and I don't know if it's a spoiler for somebody else. So,
awesome.
I'm going to say.
Yeah, 11. Yeah, man, the magazines, bro.
I'm gonna say
like
0.
Like from Fallout, like the magazines.
Yeah,
yes.
I haven't completed the story, so I have 0.
You have to walk around with your scanner on everywhere.
Yeah, there's magazines. I've collected 8 magazines or 7 or 8 magazines. Yeah,
bro. A magazine. I got magazines up the rear, dude.
You found more than
like
8?
20. 20 I'm up to 20 or 25. I look at everything, bro. I scan everything.
That's awesome.
They're permanent. They're permanent bonuses.
Yeah,
they start out. It starts off small. Like some of them are like a 2% bonus. Like okay, a 2% is not a big deal. But if I find 10 of them, and some of them are giving a 5% bonus, and a 5% bonus, it's crazy.
Do they stay in your inventory? I don't think they do. You pick them up and they say permanent and they just go away, right?
No, they're an actual magazine in your inventory.
I didn't even look.
Yeah, I just put them inside the unlimited box in the lodge.
Somebody did a mod though for that. I saw a mod that took the magazines that you find.
I don't think so, Mo. I think you just have to have them. You just find them. I'm pretty sure
he turned all the magazines into like anime porn magazines. Right, so a modder changed all the magazines that you collect as anime porn now.
That sounds like a fix.
That's a fix, right? It's a mod fix.
Yeah, anime porn mags instead of the regular.
Have you seen the Nicolas Cage flashlight?
The Nicolas Cage flashlight.
Oh yeah, let me bring this up for you. Yeah, so someone made a mod of Nicolas Cage, where when you turn your light on.
What?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me show you. I showed it earlier today, and yeah, here it is. This is real. This is not fake. This is the Nicolas Cage. Okay, this is the Nicolas Cage flashlight. So when you walk around, Nicolas Cage's face is just.
I'm waiting. Hang on.
This is fixing the game, Sarge. This is.
Oh, Nicolas Cage's face.
Yeah, it's on the light.
That's just so ridiculous. Here's the problem, 11. Right? Here's how you have to think about it, because Bethesda does this all the time. Every time Bethesda sends you someplace for a mission, and you complete the mission or a room you're in the mission with, or the mission ends, you have to check the room that you're involved in, whatever the mission ends, because there's going to be a magazine somewhere on that property. If it's in a building, on a desk, on the floor, on the shelf, like it's somewhere.
Oh, okay, Power Boss. So you're okay. I'll read your question then. So how many Earth locations have you gotten? And Sarge said he found the globe, and you're saying in chat, oh no, it's like 15 hours in the game. Well, it could still be spoiler. And as far as I know, I got one named location on Earth, went there with one location, and it told me to find where the snow globe of it. So there you go. I didn't know that because he said snow globe. I didn't know that was part of the snow globe thing. So that's why I said I don't know. I haven't found one.
But I'm ridiculous when I visit someplace. Like I look at every room, every shelf. I'm like, I just zone out, bro. I take a gummy and I zone out. I zone out. I'm looking at everything. One of the missions I played, I thought it was somebody's, like a mansion, some kind of mob boss thing was going down. And as I was going through the mansion, I realized that it wasn't a mansion, that it was an actual ship. I'm like, this is a ship? I'm like when I went to leave, I thought I was inside the house, and I walked down the ramp. I looked back and I'm like, I was in a ship that whole time. I'm like, this is insane, right? Something's making me think that you can make it. Why would the tooltip say that you can't land a ship over 80 meters? Why would it say that?
I don't know. I'm excited to see it though. I'm excited to see it.
Why would it say that?
We have a question.
If you can make a ship that's over 80 meters and you can't land it anywhere, then what do you do with it?
Have you seen the ship that someone created, the Borg ship? Here, let me bring that up. This is the Borg ship from let's see. The Borg cube. Yeah. This is this is from Oh no, it's gonna hit me. Okay. So this is a Borg ship. They just made a giant square. Oh, come on. Right? It's small, you'll see it, but it's just a big giant Rubik's cube.
Yeah, DTM. Does that mean you can have a ship just laying out in space? You can dock with your own ship? Like, is that a possibility? I don't understand how that works.
I mean, maybe.
It's a giant cube. He made the Borg.
Right. Real quick, Jaggy Snake says, do you agree that No Man's Sky really needed to create planets with different biomes? The fact that you can visit different areas in Starfield really add to the exploration. This is what I'm saying, right? So people look at No Man's Sky, and I'm not taking anything away from No Man's Sky. The landing on the planet and taking off is phenomenal. I love it. Okay, but the whole planet is like Star Wars. It's like snow planet, tree planet, desert planet. That's all it is, right? And in this game, you can land on a planet, right? And everyone's like, well, you can't fully explore a planet. You can. It literally knows on the latitude that you pick, if it's the dark side of the planet, the light side of the planet, the cold northern or the south side, right? If you click on the peninsula or you click near the ocean on a thing, it's going to show the ocean on that side, right? It knows, and it procedurally generates the land. And I don't know if if you go to Earth, which I've only been to once, I went to 2 spots in Earth, and Earth is just a desert, like the whole thing's desert, the 2 spots I went to. I don't know if all Earth is like that, right? I have no idea, right? But the fact that you can explore and figure it out, and there's like storytelling, and there's different things, and it's just awesome. So I don't think, I think this is better than No Man's Sky. I do, because nobody's walking around the planet. Nobody is walking around a planet. People barely fly around a complete planet, let alone walk around the complete planet, right? So I don't know. It's interesting. I think that No Man's Sky could make it better with the biomes, where they change biomes.
Silent Warrior just said that at level 4 skill for bases, you can get 48 outposts. What the hell, dude?
Silent Warrior's been doing nothing but base building for the last how many hours, Silent Warrior, that you've been doing base building? He's got so many bases now, and he's got links of chains going together for resources and shipping and whatnot. And I think he told me that there's like ships that actually come land and like grab stuff, like they take a stuff. I don't know. Is that correct, Silent?
What?
Like you built a ship port, and like ships actually land at your port now?
What?
I don't know if it was you or someone else told me that.
You can make your own ships land and transport your shit around?
Well, there's NPCs come and land, and like,
no, I get it.
Yeah.
His bases have bases.
Yeah. It's baseception.
But still, it's coded into the game. It's
right.
still there.
No Man's Sky does the same thing. If you build a landing spot, the ships circle around. They'll come land down. You can trade with them and stuff like that. It's cool. It makes it feel alive,
Right. It's another detail that makes the game alive. Yes.
20 hours, 5 bases, auto-producing 8 different resources on 5 different planets. Yes, you can interconnect 3 separate bases. There you go. Sure, you're making good money now. If you walk around No Man's Sky for 30 minutes, it puts you to sleep. Yeah, and look, I'm not saying the best thing ever is if you're just resource hunting on planets, it could get a bit boring because you're running like 700 meters to one point, and then 700 meters to the next point, and then 1,000 meters to the next point.
But here's my question to Silent: Are you getting basic elements from a factory and then turning them into something else that can be made into something? Like, is there like a chain that's happening? Like, what do you do with the processed materials? Like that material is used to make something else, right? That's insane. Like, what supplies are you making to build what? Like more habitation pods, or like what do you? Like, I get the mineral.
He's making his own empire. He's selling it. He's selling it to the other fleets. I have no idea. That's insane. Power Boss says, by the way, did you know it's been proven that the tiles do connect? So it's been proven. So let me give you an example. If I take my base thing, I'm at the border of the tile. I decide to build a base mod, and I put the base mod on the edge of the boundary, and then I go up in space and then pick right next to the place. I'll be able to see my base. Is that true? Or is it connecting in some other way? 2 bases can give you infinite levels of plenty of things to sell. There you go.
That's incredible.
You can grow plants to make drugs. What? We could do Breaking Bad? What?
Resources at the fabricator to make.
Yes, the resources are sent to the fabricator to make items as adapted frames. Those materials are used to make the habit or living quarters. So basically, you're making your own. You're making like your own development project where you're selling Can you sell off your resources to other people to make houses? Like, what's happening here?
But see, that makes your head explode because the possibilities of what you're allowed to do.
So
it's insane.
So
dude.
wait, let me ask this. I can then make a weed farm inside of Starfield and then ship my products around the universe.
Yes.
Is that what you're telling me right now?
Yeah, pretty much.
Are you telling me Jack Burton can have Big Trouble in Little China weed? Patent pending? I suppose it's
insane,
just
dude.
load up a ship of cargo with all the materials, fly them to the vendor, and then sell all of it. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, someone landed near the Atlas and walked to the border and couldn't see it. Now, it's been proven it's just the tiles are just small pixels, and it's just hard to get close. So now, what do the haters say? Right? If the myth of the tiles is shattered, what happens now?
The storage container is linked to the fabricator, which produces adaptive frames. Those frames are then.
I love this. I love this.
Storage crate. Jesus Christ, he's got a whole system.
He's got a whole facility going on. That's great. I want to do it, but obviously base building is going to be really boring for people to watch me build, right? So I have to start doing it off a stream to get it like up and running a little bit, right? Yeah, load times, Water. The load times. You gotta move it.
Think about it though. Think about it. All the things that could be wrong with the game: broken, buggy, fucked up, crashing. We can't complain about any of that. So we got all the way down to load times. This is where I'm going to hover and cause problems.
But the weed plants, Sarge, they look cardboard.
That's another thing. You played Outer Worlds, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Outer Worlds was decent.
Yeah.
They did a nice job.
It's just very small.
The worlds here, the way the plant life and stuff, like the lighting, everything looks really good.
Yeah, it looks good. I mean, you saw some of the pictures.
Good.
You saw some of the pictures. Look, someone came into my stream and was like, "Are you playing on the PC?" No, I'm playing on the Xbox. Most people can't even tell. Right? You see what I'm saying? Like, people can't tell. Obviously, it's coming through the stream, so it looks kind of off than it is.
Sure.
It's fantastic. So Powerball says loading screens when you've been there can mostly be skipped from plant surface to plant surface too. Right. And here's the thing. People are complaining about load screens, but yet they're also complaining that you don't need a ship. Well, if you choose to fast travel, then
everywhere,
right? You can fast travel everywhere. Then yeah, you don't need to use it. I'm just baffled, like the amount of people that are bitching about stuff that they actually don't even know. They're like, oh, I wish you can fast travel. They're like, well, I wish you could do. You can do that. Well, they don't tell you. It's like, well, imagine playing a game and figuring it out, or being in a group like this and like talking back and forth between people and figuring it out instead of just straight up talking shit. And then going, yeah, no, 0 out of 10. Like, okay, cool. Well, according to the boss, everything looks like cardboard. The best part was about that, and if boss is here, he's more than welcome to speak up. He literally said that the trees look like cardboard. And I walked up to a tree, and it was like 3-dimensional. Now, the leaves, they're thin. He goes, well, they're not even moving with the wind. And then I turn around, the grass is moving, and the trees are wiggling. And he's like, yeah, but it's not. And I'm like, what next, man? Like, what do you want from it?
Here's the goalpost. Go ahead and move that where you want it.
It's like, I don't understand.
Like, what do you want it to, like, the game has everything. What do you want it to do? Like, are you not entertained? Seriously, they did a good job.
Dolphin,
they did a good job.
I think we're doing the
I'll
show.
Post a diagram of my main base.
I'll find out tomorrow when they let
He's gonna have to make a diagram. How big is your base, bro? You gotta do a diagram.
He's that guy in that meme.
What
the guy with the meme where he's got the red things in the. He's like, you gotta see all this.
How big is your base? Wait, can you make a town then? Can you keep hiring the same guy to work everyone works in the same town? Do they make a town?
Power Boss, I don't mind the comparison to No Man's Sky because No Man's Sky, let's be honest, is probably the best space game. Star Citizen's out there, but technically it's not out yet, right? No Man's Sky over the last 7 years has done a really good job of doing what they're doing. So you can compare like the exploring the planets and like the resource and stuff like that. And they're not the same game, but you can compare. But it's not fair. The amount of dialogue and if No Man's Sky had the voice dialogue and stuff where people didn't have to read so much. Oh, we're getting bad. Our system. This is YouTube telling me that we need to end the stream soon. That if if the resources and stuff, and you could talk more to actual characters, and the story was more rich, I think basically it would have it would be just as good. So I don't mind the comparison, but I think it's unfair to compare the two as a 1-to-1 type of thing. One's a survival game, and one's an RPG, right? No Man's Sky is a survival game. Starfield is an RPG.
Imagine Starfield in 7 years. The possibilities what they could do with this game is insane.
Yeah, yeah,
just insane.
I'm very interested to see what they do with
this is week 1.
Day 1
with no mods. This is week 1. I'm sorry for the normal release. This is day 1.
This is day 1. Yep.
This is day 1.
Yeah. I don't know what's happening. YouTube lately at night has been really screwy. Let's see. We'll get a little more. If no one has any more questions, I mean, you can ask questions as we're reading here. The home base is pretty complex. The others are just used forming resources. Okay. I love No Man's Sky. I have like 600 hours between PC and Xbox. Let's see. Imagine Starfield in 7 years. Well, there was an article that we read, boss, that Todd Howard said that Game Pass is forever. And we know that Todd Howard also said that they were mad because Skyrim, they couldn't capitalize on it because people were still playing the same game 10 years from now or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So now
it was that good.
Yeah.
Because it was that good.
So now Starfield's out, and let's just say it lasts like Skyrim. But now they can add and update stuff and more DLCs and more things. I don't know, man. It's pretty cool.
We have to give it. Let's give it 1 month. Honestly. We'll come back and visit this October 6th, and we're going to talk about who's still playing it, who's not playing it, and if there's some kind of giant community of just playing Starfield now.
Right. Right. Morrowind is still huge. Yeah. Look, I like Bethesda games. I love Bethesda games. I've always loved all the games that they've created. I was disappointed with Fallout 76, but I still put in over 100 hours into that world. I knew what I was getting into. A lot of people's expectations were thrown out of proportion because they thought that they said things that they never said, and people think a lot of stuff because something's. We had an argument today, right? Someone said that Todd Howard said that there was no seamless things, and it said no seamless. It literally said no seamless, but the title said Todd Howard said seamless, and I'm like, if you read past the title, it says Todd Howard says there's no seamless. Transitions from the stuff.
That was hilarious. That was today.
Yeah, so people think that certain things were said, but they weren't. People wanted 60 frames per second. Todd said multiple years ago, 30 frames is what we're shooting for, and they're like, I can't believe it's not 60 frames. Like, what does he have to sell? Like, does he have to punch you in the face? I said 30. Right? Like, I don't understand. People are just blowing things out of proportion. There's nothing burgers left and right. This is me not shilling for the game. You could give it a 6. You can give it a 5. You can give it a 4. I don't give a fuck what you give it. Okay? I know what I like, and this game is fucking amazing. It's amazing. I don't care if it wins Game of the Year. I don't even care if it's nominated for fucking Game of the Year. I'll be honest with you. Right? This is my game of the decade. Right? The last game that I loved this much was probably Red Dead Redemption 2, which came out in 2018. Okay? And I like this more than that game. And before that was Mass Effect 2, which came out, 2011, 2012?
Think of it this way. Imagine 3 months in when PC gets it fully optimized. All the guys twiddle with it a little bit. They get it fully optimized. What that game will look like on a badass PC.
Can you... I can't... Oof. When Star Wars mod comes in, I'm moving to PC. When Star Wars mod comes in, I'm moving to PC.
Once they get Starfield all nice and dialed in on the PC, and there's no more complaints and stuff's dialed in, that it's gonna look insane, dude.
Did anyone else just hear? I love democracy. I love Republic.
That's the Emperor. That's the Emperor from Star Wars.
Oh, I missed the joke. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
60 frames per second. Come play with us on PC. Get 90 to 120 frames. I don't think my system would do that. I have a 3060. I think you have a 3060 as well, Sarge, right? I don't have a 4090 Ti.
Yeah, I don't have a. I'm not talking about my PC. I'm just talking about.
No. Quintar was saying 60 frames. Come and join us with the 90 frames and 120 frames. They did it with Baldur's Gate 3. Who knows? I just wanted console mods to stay free more than anything. Creation Club is going to be where they're selling the stuff. There might be some free mods, but you're definitely going to be paying for stuff.
Listen, there's a lot of mods I have for Skyrim and for Fallout 4 on Xbox, and they're through they're through that community, and I don't pay for them, and they're really good mods, man. There was an entire mod that fixed all the broken shit from Fallout 4, all the stuff that Bethesda never fixed. A bunch of guys fixed all the stuff that was broken, and there's a patch you could put down, and it's free on Xbox, not PC, and it still works.
Do you
it's
have
amazing?
Do you have
it's
Ultimate,
amazing.
Do you have Ultimate, Sarge? You have Game Pass Ultimate, right?
Yes.
Okay. It's cross save, so if you want to try Starfield on your PC, you can just download it on your PC, and you can do stuff on your PC with better graphics. I know you don't like sitting in your chair, but and then you can move it back over and load up your Xbox, and it shares the save file.
Well, that might come soon. All right. Any more questions? Let's hear them.
Yeah.
Because my grav drive's powered up and I'm ready to go.
Sarge's like, I'm out. I'm not gonna stream. I'm not streaming after this, guys. I'm gonna play Starfield, but I'm not gonna stream tonight. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow evening I'll stream late night. We'll start around like 10:30. And then tomorrow morning, I'm not sure if I'm on the show with Lono or not. I'm pretty sure we'll talk about Starfield. I would assume we were talking about Starfield if we're doing the show. So if there's no more questions, we do appreciate you coming out, and great for the conversation. We'll be back. I'll be back Monday at 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll also be here Friday night. Friday night, I'll be here around 10:30. We're going to stream some more Starfield, the Adventures of Jack Burton in Captain's Log. So if you guys like that, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button down below. You can listen to the past broadcasts or this on YouTube or iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm. We do appreciate you very much for coming out and hanging out. Power Boss has one more question. He says, what is your favorite faction so far? It's a tough question because I've only been part of... I played one faction more than the rest, and that's the Crimson Fleet. And that's a very, very good... that I've played so far, very good storyline. So if you guys haven't done the Crimson Fleet yet, most people don't even know how to get it, right? So it's interesting. It's a good faction. So that's my favorite faction. What's your favorite faction so far, Sarge?
I don't know, dude. I don't think I'm playing the game right. I'm not able to steal ships yet. I think because you're a pirate, because of Crimson Fleet, you can steal ships. I think I have to figure a way to get that open.
I think anyone can steal a ship, but anyway, I don't know.
I've had 3 or 4 opportunities, and it always says inaccessible every time.
All right.
Anyway.
All right.
Thanks for coming out, guys.
Episode
Push that thumb.
Episode 364 is in the can. We do appreciate you very much for coming out. If you'd like to support us, you can go above and beyond that by hitting the membership button for as little as $5. We do 4 shows during the day on Monday through Thursday. We do 4 shows in the evening, Monday through Thursday. I appreciate it very much, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Game on!
They're two brothers and gamers that have been playing games since the early 1980s. Combined, they have over 65 years experience. Join them each week as they discuss and rant about gaming and entertainment news. This is Generation X Gaming.